So by 2:30 today, the top three of the Championship could look completely different yet again. Can Leeds go back to the top, or will Sheffield United nip in ahead of them and push Daniel Farke's men back into the playoff places? Let's find out, shall we? Sit back and enjoy in the company of former Liverpool and Sheffield United women's striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk and your match commentator at Ellen Road, Mark Wilson.
Cheers, Faye. What an atmosphere here at Ellen Road. Shirt sleeves all around us. You can see the white and the yellow strips of Leeds everywhere you look. A small pocket of Preston fans away to our right-hand side. Their season all but over, but for Leeds, everything is on the line here. After disappointment and heartbreak in the playoffs last year, Leeds have been in the automatic spots for pretty much the whole of the season. They dropped out briefly last weekend, but they fired a win at Middlesbrough when they needed one. And it showed the type of character on which promotion campaigns are built. But can they build on it today? 5 remain for Leeds. Their future of promotion very much in their own hands. They're forcing a one change today. No Dan James, he's done a hamstring. Not sure when he'll be back. Carl Darlow is in goal. It's Bogle, Rodon, Ampadu and Firpo in the middle of the defence. Gruev and Tanaka, Solomon Aronson and Willie Nonto replaces Dan James in that three, just behind top scorer Joe Rodon. But Paul Heckingbottom, former Leeds boss, of course, brings his Preston side here, knowing that Preston have only lost one of their last 5 to Leeds. They make 2 changes from the midweek draw with Cardiff. Story Magoma come in for Tess and Keane drop out. Cornell in goal, back three of Story, Gibson and Hughes. Kessler, Hayden, Tadarsson, Whiteman and Magoma across the middle. It's Brady and Frockyar behind Militin Osmajic, who starts up top. On the benches for Leeds, Melier the goalkeeper, Bamford, Ramazani, Joseph, Giavogi, Byram, Schmidt, DeBeo and Verba. And for the visitors, Stowell the goalkeeper, Porteous, Lindsay, Keane, Rees, Evans, Bauer, Mawene and Carroll. Great atmosphere here. That midweek win for Leeds, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, was vital. Had 2 perfectly good goals disallowed. Just felt psychologically it was a massive moment for them that they still got the win and they're back in the top 2.
Yeah, it is. And you never want mistakes like that in terms of having goals ruled out, wrongly ruled out to determine a game. So I think I mentioned it to Faye earlier. It's not just the win, the 3 points, that is one thing. But to do it against a team as good as Borough, I think it just instills that little bit more confidence into the team. And you see this atmosphere at Ellen Road, it's always fantastic here. So look, we know full well the fans will be behind the team and really push on against a Preston side that they should be beating, Mark.
They should be, but we've probably said that 4 of the last 5 times they've met and they've not beaten them. I mean, this is a war of the roses. It's Lancashire against Yorkshire, Yorkshire against Lancashire. They're normally quite niggly affairs, these two. And Preston, this is a free run for them, isn't it? They can come here and really crash the party. Yeah,
it isn't, and that's why it's bonkers at this time of the season. This is why you get such peculiar results, because sometimes it goes the other way in the old saying that the team's on the beach. But the other side of it is, and I mentioned it earlier, some of these players in this Preston side will be playing for contracts, will be playing about next season or potentially for a move or whatever else it may be. And as you say, it's a free hit, so you can play, maybe without inhibitions. And also, Paul Heckingbottom might be looking a little bit towards next season as well and maybe trying a few different things out because they feel safe, which Leeds might not be expecting.
Well, we'll find out. Marching on together, Bellows round Ellen Road. It's full to the rafters once again. Not a ticket to be had for love or money in this part of the world. They have 5 remaining. And if they can get 5 wins, they know they will be back in the Premier League after a 2-year absence. Great day, pitch looks immaculate, we're all set. It's another bumper day of sport across the Talksport network. Manchester City, Crystal Palace live right now, live and exclusive on Talksport. Resmin Chowdhury with Sam Atterface and a former England captain Stuart Pearce. Game day live and all the goals as they go with Adrian Durham, Troy Deeney and Jermaine Guinness later on this afternoon. And Dance, Perry and Faye will bring you all the action live at St Mary's as Southampton take on Villa. Only place you'll hear it on National Radio is right here on Talksport 2. Sunday session with Sam Atterface tomorrow, and of course the Virtue Trophy final at Wembley. Talksport 2 exclusive. Ollie Klink, Ian Danter and Adrian Clark, our team, as Birmingham look to build on their promotion in midweek with a win at Wembley over Peterborough. We are underway at Ellen Road. Leeds all in white, going from left to right. It's the all blue strip of Preston. They're attacking the Cop End here. Whose nerve will hold? We'll key up to date with all the goings on down at Home Park as Plymouth take on Sheffield United. Sheffield United start the day on the outside looking in at the top 3. Will it all change again as it did last Saturday, as it did on Tuesday night? It's topsy-turvy, it's the Championship. We have got no clue what's going to happen here. Leeds just passing around in front of their own penalty area. Rodon finds Bogle, who finds Willie Gnonto, who replaces Dan James. Ball forward towards Peru, ball headed away from him. Tanaka will pick it up, he'll bring it down, and Leeds early on, Courtney just happy to have a few early touches and get everyone a feel of the ball.
Yeah, I think this atmosphere in the stadium is always fantastic, but sometimes potentially might make the players go the other way. I think it's important. Yes, you want to start fast, but you also need to be calm with it. So I like that start from Leeds. As you say, just trying to get touches on the ball, work themselves into the game. And a good little foray forward there down the left-hand side, but comes to nothing. Yeah,
but Leeds dominating early on here. Preston just chasing, holding their shape at the moment. Bogle has it inside his own half, goes back to Joe Rodon. Goalkeeper Darlow all in pink in front of the Kop end here, away down the far end. David Cornell is in a lemon yellow strip. Ball given away on halfway. Now a chance for Preston to bring it forward. It's Magoma, the Brentford loanee, who has it on the near side, pokes it forward. And here now's a chance for Whiteman. Ball over the top looking for Osmajic, headed comfortably away by Ampadu, who's filling in the absence of Pascal Struijk, whose season is over. A fractured foot for him, that is bad news for Leeds. Joe Rothwell hopefully not too far away, and Dan James, well, they didn't give any indication how long he would be out. Left the field at Borough in midweek with a hamstring issue. Leeds have it 0-0 here, 2 minutes gone at Ellen Road. What an atmosphere it is here. They're expecting, but I think you just mentioned it, Courtney, the fans have got a role to play here. If all's not going well, they've got to stick with the team, and they did that well on Tuesday night.
Yeah, exactly. And there's times where I've been here a while back now where things maybe weren't so good for Leeds, and there's two sides to this crowd. It can also maybe get a little bit toxic as well, but that's not the case at the moment. The way that they are fully behind the team, and as you say, if something is to happen, then they go a goal down, maybe against a run of play, then you're right, it's about the fans still sticking behind their team.
Well, here's Rodon, fires a pass out to Firpo, wide on the left, feeds it to Solomon, left-hand corner of the penalty area, looking to turn and twist his way past Story, who confronts him. He has got to the byline, didn't put the cross in, there was pirouetting in the middle. Here's Firpo, lays it back here, edge of the centre circle. Rodon will have it, so they've gone back to keep possession. Tanaka now advances forward, gets it wide to Bogle. Bogle wide on the right, gives it to Gnonto's touch was a heavy one, but Leeds will get possession back. Tanaka's brave header gets him the ball back from Gnonto. Here now is Gruyev, he gets it away to Aronson, who turns into trouble, but Gruyev's there to help him out. Here's Firpo 25 yards out, but a keep ball from Leeds. Solomon forced wide on the left. Plenty of white shirts now in the middle. Solomon onto his right foot, lays it back to Gruyev. Gruyev is going to have a shot. No, he'll lay it back to Solomon. Solomon is going to go for goal! What a strike! What a wonderful goal for Leeds United! And it's Solomon who curls it in the top corner. Patient build-up from Leeds and a top quality strike. Leeds lead by 1-0.
Brilliant goal, and you hit the nail on the head there, Mark. Patience. Very, very patient build up, keeping the ball moving. And Preston were dropping deeper and deeper. They had all 11 men in their defensive third, and there's a moment where Gruev, he looked like he was going to shoot. The crowd were asking him to shoot, but he doesn't. He makes a better decision. And how well does Solomon do here? Cuts inside on his right foot, looking for that right-hand corner. Does so well to be the Preston goalkeeper. It's a wonderful, wonderful goal. But the goal itself, excellent. The build-up, excellent. The patience, and that is just what the doctor ordered for Leeds.
It is. He gets it right on the 18-yard line, and he curls it over the keeper. Nothing he could do. Leeds have the lead, a valuable one as well. Just cranks up the pressure down in the southwest on Sheffield United as Rodon thumps the ball clear. And Leeds have the start they would have wanted. Daniel Farke, he's so cool, he's so calm, collected, never gets overly excited, never gets too down when things aren't going his way, but inside he'd be delighted with that start.
Yeah, he will be, and as I say, Preston right back in their defensive third for the opening 5 minutes. So now normally they'll think about, can we sit in, can we frustrate, can we make things difficult, and then maybe later in the game we can change it, whereas now the game plan goes completely out the window.
Well, there's a chance though here over on the far side for Preston. They're into the penalty area. Could be a chance to fire back. They have fired back. What a strike that is. Kessler Hayden it is who's fired it into the top corner past Darlow. And a stunned silence here. It was a ball played into the right-hand side of the penalty box. Nobody went to close him down. And Kessler Hayden has just picked his spot. And he's done what Solomon did at the other end. It's 1-1.
Yeah, unbelievable. Leeds just fall to sleep. And it's that old adage, isn't it, in terms of you're most vulnerable when you've just scored. And that's what happens here. Preston, they do really well. Really expansive. Going forward, nothing that we've really seen for the first 5 minutes. And Kessler Hayden, slightly further in, is about 16 yards out, and it's a different type of strike. The way that he strikes through it, it's straight like an arrow across the goalkeeper. There's nothing that Darlow could do about it. It's a very, very good goal from Kessler Hayden, but there are question marks there about that Leeds United defending. But wow, what a game we've got already, 6 minutes in.
What a start. The Championship continues to deliver here on Talksport 2. Leeds off to a perfect start. The lead lasted a matter of seconds. Kane Kessler Hayden fires in a wonderful goal, and it's 1-1 as you were here at Ellen Road. I don't think anyone around us can believe it. 2 top quality strikes to open up in the opening 6 minutes.
Yeah, exactly, and as you say, 2 very high quality goals. I think there's maybe a question about the Leeds defending for that second goal for Preston North End, but fair credit to them. As I say, they a bit more expansive, higher up the pitch, committed players forward, and that's your reward.
Yeah, speaking of rewards, goal in the FA Cup semi-final, Women's FA Cup semi-final. Olivia Smith has put Liverpool in front. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1. 21 gone there. Updates to that over on Talksport right now, but that probably the toughest draw Liverpool could have got, but that gives them something to go at. And we're also hearing there's been a goal over on Talksport as well, where it's Manchester City 0, Crystal Palace 1. There's with a goal there, so it's all happening. Early days here at Ellen Road. There's another chance here for the visitors. Majic was just offside, but he played the cross in. He didn't need to be offside there, Courtney. That was a little bit too easy, wasn't it, for Preston?
Yeah, it was far too easy. And as well, Hughes gets forward really, really well, and I know he probably wants to keep that on his left foot, but I think if he can shift that over to his right foot and have a swing at that, he's in a really good position. Very similar actually to where Kessler Hayden was, just the complete opposite side of the box, closest to us here in the press box. Could have got a shot off, but you're right, then how it progresses, Majic, he doesn't have to be offside there.
No, he doesn't. So early goals here. We'll nip down the home park in a moment as the ball from Darlow is forward, and it's going to go out of play on this near side. Let's go down the home park then for the first time. Big game in the Championship, and it sees Plymouth taking on Sheffield United. John Roder's there.
Plymouth 0, Sheffield United 0. Not a lot of action at either end so far in the opening exchanges. There were rather quiet scenes when we heard news of that Leeds goal, but a bit of a cheer when we heard of the Preston equaliser. Around the 1,200 or so Blades fans away to my right. No goals at the moment. Argyle 0, Sheffield United 0.
Cheers, John. We'll be checking in with John throughout the day. Every angle covered here on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL, as Preston attack down there left-hand side again. Good pass inside from Frockyar, but the ball over the top was a poor one, and it's out for a throw into Leeds. 1-1 if you just joined us. Electric start. Mona Solomon with a goal inside 4 minutes. Lovely curl finish, and then an equally exquisite finish from the fullback Kessler Hayden for Preston. Means it's 1-1 here. Generally are always goals when these two meet. We've had 2 in the opening 7 minutes. Leeds looking to counter now. Peru wanted the ball played over the top. Gruyev runs with it in midfield. Now he'll find Peru edge of the area, looking to try and feed it through to Solomon. It will break over on the far side for the goal scorer Kessler Hayden. He's had his pocket pinch. Peru into the box, crosses it, palmed away. He'll fall to Bogle. Is he going to hit it first time? It just wouldn't sit down edge of the area. Gets it onto his left foot, pulls it wide. He so wanted to hit that on the volley, but he just couldn't quite get it to sit right. Still 1-1.
No, he couldn't, and I think it was the right decision to try and take the touch, because the initial way it fell to him, it was going to be very difficult, very high tariff to try and hit that one on the volley. But I think probably, in a strange way, maybe Preston scoring has helped Leeds to an extent in the fact that they've got a bit of confidence, Preston. They're looking a bit more expansive. So the fact that there are more opportunities to find the gaps, to pick the pocket there of Kessler Hayden, rather than having to deal with a low block for 90 minutes.
Yeah, and it is something that Leeds have struggled with when teams just come here and sit in. Look, it sounds daft, they've won 15 of 20 here in the Championship, but they do seem to find it harder against teams that don't come and have a go. What a start for Bradford, by the way, in League 2. They're 2-0 up at Swindon. Callum Kavanagh with an early double there, league leaders in League 2. Bradford hoping to get promotion finally out of that League 2 division. Here now goes Solomon again down the left for Leeds, feeds it to Firpo, puts the cross in, that cross is blocked, and it's out for a Leeds United corner. Really open start to the game, real high quality affair. 11 gone, it's 1-1.
Yeah, it is, and it's that left hand side that Leeds seem to be profiting from at the moment, and we know that the likes of Firpo like to go forward and add to the attack, and exactly what they're doing, linking up really well with Solomon.
Celtic could win the league title this weekend. They're 1-up at home to Kilmarnock. Here's a corner for Leeds, whipped in, headed at the near post, but it's a loopy header that takes it away out over on this near side. It's out for a throw into Preston. 1-1 here, Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1. That's in the Women's FA Cup semi-final. AFC Wimbledon have got an early goal. Alistair Smith scores at Doncaster. Doncaster 0, AFC Wimbledon 1. That is a massive game in the League 2 promotion race as well. So goals as they go in. We'll have all the goals as they go in this afternoon with Adrian Durham over on Talksport, here on Talksport 2. Southampton against Villa. Villa disappointed in midweek in the Champions League, but get 3 points today. Will go a long way to getting them back in the competition next year. Here is Solomon, 30 yards out, drives forward, into the D, just put it behind Firpo. I think Leeds fans thought he was going to hit that. And given the success of his first shot, why wouldn't he? Here's Firpo again. It'll fall to Solomon. Solomon has it just on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Puts in a cross. Great ball in. Bogle's there. And it's turned in. Solomon the provider. Bogle bundles in from close range. And it's delirium at Ellen Road. Leeds back in front. 12 on the clock. Leeds 2. Preston 1.
Brilliant ball. That is all about the quality of the ball for me. The way that it's driven across, it's inviting. And Bogle there. Right place at the right time. But to be honest, it could have been any number of either Leeds players or Preston North End defenders because of the quality of that ball. The way that it comes across, it's fist across. Cornell knows that he can't come for that unless he's going to get caught out. But yet again, spoke about it only seconds ago, that left-hand side of Leeds, the right-hand side for Preston North End. It's been an absolute thorn in the side, and Solomon there, we've got the replay in front of us here in the press box, and every time you look at that ball, it gets better and better. His whip, bags of pace, because he's whipped it, and it's not like a flat ball across, it's just coming away from the goalkeeper and the defenders as well, and Bogle probably won't score an easier goal than that this season.
6th league goal for Bogle. And it's a big one as well. But Solomon, who scored a beauty with his right foot, then puts the cross in, a beauty with his left foot, shows the talent he's got. Quality all round from Manor Solomon, and Leeds are back in front, and Preston now will come forward as they look to get an equaliser here. Solomon will cushion the ball back to Firpo, edge of the Leeds penalty area. Leeds 2, Preston 1. What a start to the day here on Talksport 2. First of a double header, and Leeds are looking to cut loose again. Here's the goal scorer Bogle, invited forward. Nonto's made some space. He's got Solomon with him. Nonto slips just at the vital time. A counter, but Bogle's won it back by the byline. And I think it's going to be a goal kick. It comes off Bogle's shins and behind. But Leeds just then starting to bare their teeth, aren't they, attacking wise?
Yeah, and I think they're doing really well in the transition. Initially, that second goal is where it comes from. Win the ball back. Preston North End are out of position here. Get it over to that left-hand side quickly. Very similar here where Bogle gets on the ball. Wonderful little sort of weighted ball down the side of Nonto. It's the right idea. It's just the fact that Nonto slips, and you can see you were right, Mark. You called it. Solomon in the middle. And if he can whip that round first time, it's probably 3-1 to Leeds, but slips at the vital time, Nonto.
Ball played forward, one by Brady on the near side, pokes it forward. I think Osmaich might have been offside there, but Ampadu took it away from him. Ampadu's ball out wide will find Solomon. He just had to retreat a few metres to get it, as it just short of the halfway line. Here now is Firpo. Leeds 2, Preston 1, live on Talksport 2. Mark Wilson with the former Sheffield United and Liverpool women's striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. Still last we heard 0-0 Plymouth Sheffield United. We'll check in with John Roder again soon. There's a ball headed for by Firpo and out for a throw-in. It has got, certainly from a Preston point of view, it's got an end-of-season feel. We're playing in bright sunshine, conditions are perfect, and Preston just think, look, we're just going to keep attacking, and it is going to leave them open at times.
Yeah, it's going to leave them open, but obviously for the neutrals, it's a better spectacle for sure. And again, I mentioned it earlier, when you are safe but you've got nothing to play for in terms of going forward, it is an opportunity for Paul Heckingbottom in terms of maybe trying something a little bit different, being more expansive and trying to work out without pressure, maybe little tactical tweaks that can change, and I'm looking forward to next season.
Crossfield ball is looking out wide for Kessler Hayden. It'll skip away from him. It's out for a throw-in. Bradford, we mentioned, were 2-0 up, but Richie Smallwood's been sent off. Straight red card there for Bradford. Celtic 2-0 up. Deza Maeda with a goal against Kilmarnock. So it's 2-0 now to Celtic, who are just, you feel, moments away from picking up yet another Scottish title. There's a ball over on the far side with Leeds, headed in towards the Leeds penalty area. Osmajic is trying to chase down Roden, who just has to poke it behind for a corner. Well, he maybe could have tried to watch that out, but he just rolls it out for a corner instead. Yeah,
and I think initially that's maybe what he did want to do, but that pressure from Osmajic just puts him in two minds.
Corner then, which Robbie Brady is going to go across and take. Darlow waits a couple of yards off his line. He's surrounded by white shirts. Now the blue shirts are coming in as well, looking to try and get another equaliser. 3 goals in the opening 12 minutes here. Corner about to be delivered by Brady's left boot. Everybody back for Leeds. Solomon on the penalty spot, the furthest away. Leeds have got a line of 5 right on the 6-yard line. Ball in, Darlow collects it. No one near him. It's a good grab. You can hear the roar of relief around this place. Meslier has had his problems. He now on the bench for Leeds, and I don't know about you, Courtney, but I think it's tough to see a way back for Ilem Meslier at Leeds now. I think maybe he will move on to pastures new in the summer.
Yeah, it really is, and it's a shame for him because I think he's been at the heart of a lot of good moments for Leeds United, and it's still young, but you're right in terms of now maybe one too many mistakes. Hard to see a way back, and then you look at that, the contrast there with Darlow does really well, commands his area, is strong, got a lot of bodies in front of him, and I think, you know, more so, especially going up to the Premier League as well, that's what you need in that position.
Leeds going back to the Premier League. Well, as it stands, they're going back to the top of the Championship table. They'll jump above Burnley on goal difference. Burnley won last night live on Talksport 2, beat Norwich. Nonto trying to battle with Brady. Brady pokes the ball back, and it's gathered by Lewis Gibson, and he'll roll it across the back 4, or back 3 as it is for Preston. And now they have it over on the far side with Maz Frokya. He gets it out wide to the goal scorer Kessler Hayden. Feeds it infield there, looking for a pass to Darson. It breaks for Preston, but Bogle will intercept the ball forward, and he wanders off in field, and he'll find Firpo over on the far side, and Firpo fit it to Bogle, who's now playing left winger at the moment in the counter as he looks for Peru. He's got time, 25 yards out, brings it down, thought about hitting it, should have hit it, gets it onto his left foot, does hit it, pulls it just wide of the post. We had about 3 goes there, Joel Peru. Eventually his shot was just off target and wide of it, but a really good move from Leeds.
Yeah, it just doesn't quite sit for him. I think initially he probably should hit it first time. He doesn't. Then when he tries to take that extra touch, that's not big enough to take in between Gibson and Hughes at the heart of that Preston North End defence. And then the shot in the end, it just rolls past the right-hand side of the post. But he had absolutely acres of space there, Peru. The way that he's in between Gibson and Hughes, and they're both looking at each other as if to say, well, you should pick him up. And to me, too, by the time they've figured it out, Peru's clean through.
Yeah, given some of the strikes he has had for Leeds in the Championship this year, I'm surprised he didn't hit that first time, but opted to have a touch ball out of play here. Let's get back down to Home Park then. Plymouth taking on Sheffield United in front of Talksport 2's John Roden.
Argyle 0, Sheffield United 0, 20 minutes played here. Not a lot has really happened. Sheffield United have had more of the ball. They've had 3 corners. They've done nothing with it. Plymouth Argyle have rarely tested their former goalkeeper, Michael Cooper. In fact, the brightest thing about it is the goalkeeper's 2 kits. Bright orange and bright pink. It's Argyle 0, Sheffield United 0.
Cheers, John. No doubt the Blades fans are going through at the moment. They'll have watched or listened to Burnley's win last night. They'll be listening on the Talksport app, I'm sure, to Leeds here in front by 2-1. Manor Solomon in 4 minutes. Wonderful strike cancelled out by Kessler Hayden's equally wonderful strike. 1-1 inside 6 minutes, but then Jayden Bogle bundles in after great work from Manor Solomon down the left-hand side. Wonderful cross. Bogle, 6th of the season. This is a miscontrol from Andrew Hughes on this near side, and Leeds will have a throw-in just in front of Daniel Farker and the Leeds bench. Looking at Paul Heckingbottom and Stuart McCall, who are down in their technical area looking on. Ball back to Darlow, feeds it across. Interesting, Heckingbottom has been in charge at Sheffield United and at Leeds United in the not too distant past. And those two both gunning it out for promotion back to the Premier League along with Burnley. Ball now at the back with Joe Rodon. He'll bring it forward, looking to work his way infield. Nonto did well to halt his run there. Gets it back to Bogle. And Bogle back to Rodon. But Leeds, they look actually pretty relaxed, don't they? There's not really been any signs of nerves. Yeah, they switched off for the goal, but they've adjusted after that.
Yeah, and
well, almost in again there. Firpo made a great run, but the pass just overhit.
Yeah, he did. But you're right, Mark, in terms of they look very comfortable, especially obviously now they've got the lead as well. Just playing the ball around, waiting for an opening, knowing that actually Preston are still playing quite openly in terms of going forward. They're not sat back in a shape in their defensive third like they were at the start of the game. They're quite happy to try and get the ball forward, and that can only be, in a way, quite a positive thing for Leeds, because yes, they're open, Preston, but they've not really troubled the goalkeeper again except for that goal.
No, they haven't. There was a feeling up at has been another goal over on Talksport, and it is Manchester City 0, Crystal Palace 2. Confirm the scorer for that in a moment. That is over on Talksport. If you've got the Talksport app, you can swipe left and right between the two stations and all our other sister stations as well. As Peru turns and feeds it out wide. Chris Richards with the second goal for Palace. Here, Leeds are looking for a third. Solomon played in down the left, just has to wait. There are 4 white shirts waiting on the edge of the box. Solomon's gone past his man again. Onto his right foot, opts to give it to Gruyev. He gets it to Firpo. Firpo, corner of the penalty area, left-hand side, in front of the Big East stand here, the Jack Charlton stand, over on that far side. Ball works its way to Nonto. Pops off the pass to Rodon. He fizzes the ball out to Bogle. Leeds happy to keep possession, move Preston around. Bogle now more direct, gives and goes edge of the box. And again, I think Leeds fans think he's going to have a shot, but he opts just to keep it. They're pretty unselfish, this Leeds team, aren't they, at the moment? They're trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, they are, and especially because they've scored now 2 goals by being patient. That just then feeds into that. They know that they don't need to be taking shots from 25, 30 yards. They've got the ability to beat this Preston side with movement and the dynamism that they're showing in the front line.
Well, there's a back pass there from Magoma back to Cornell, who won't have thanked him for it. That was a fizzed back pass, but his touch was good, the keeper. Long ball forward brought down by Ampadu. He gets it to Darlow. It's 2-1 Leeds, 23 gone here in a sun-baked Ellen Road. It's great. Everywhere you look, you just see white and yellow, don't you? The 2 Leeds strips, the home and the away one. It just looks magnificent here today.
Yeah, it really does, and these fans obviously very happy with what they're seeing at the moment as well.
Yeah, strong challenge goes in on halfway. Ball breaks towards Todarson. He gets it wide on the near side. He finds Frockyar. He'll just roll it back towards halfway, and here's Andrew Hughes.
He wasn't happy though there, Frockyar, because initially he made a really good run down that left-hand side. Should have been played earlier, and then by the time he gets the ball, the Leeds United defence have managed to shuffle over.
And Frockyar just takes it past Nonto effortlessly, but he's not really got anyone to pass to at the moment. He does eventually find a pass to Brady. He gets it back on this near side to Darson. He now finds Magoma, who has it on the left, goes past Tanaka into the edge of the area, trying to get to the ball and puts in the ball into the 6-yard box, and there was Ampadu to clear it away. Lovely skill there from the fullback.
Yeah, brilliant change of pace, does well with the ball in as well. It's just a shame for him really that as Majic was the only player that he had to aim for in that Preston blue shirt.
Yeah, ball won back by Nonto, then fouled by Brady, who apologises to Nonto, checks he's okay and helps him to his feet. Good sportsmanship there from Robbie Brady. 2-1 it is here. What's going on? Well, Celtic 4-0 up inside 24 minutes at home to Kilmarnock. And we mentioned Bradford 2-0 up but down to 10. Well, Swindon have got one back. Neil Byrne, 22nd minute. It is Swindon 1, Bradford 2. But Bradford, league leaders in League 2, down 8-10. Chris Richards confirming that second goal. What about that? Manchester City 0, Crystal Palace 2. It's all happening, isn't it, today?
Yeah, loads of early goals. That's what we like.
Yeah, I think when all these 12:30 kickoffs came in, we're all a little bit, I'm not sure how we feel about that, but it's great now, isn't it? Certainly at this time of year, when you're seeing the twists and turns, if teams can win it and put pressures on others around them, it's great to see.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing about it, isn't it? Even though it might be only for, an hour or so, just the pressure that it puts on the other teams around, that psychological advantage that can be gained is I say, really interesting with a lot of these early kickoffs.
Yeah, here is Bogle with a throw-in. Leeds lead 2-1. Bogle's pass is behind Nonto. Nonto's just struggled to get up to pace with the game at the moment. Solomon has certainly been the shining star on the other side for Leeds. Cornell has it, and he'll look to play on the edge of his area, and they'll play their way out past Joe Peru, and the ball played forward now. That's a good ball over the top. They could be getting in behind here. Brady's got in behind Bogle, really wide, tries to drill the cross in. He says it got a touch. Referee disagrees, and it's a goal kick.
It's a fantastic run from Robbie Brady from deep. I think maybe the initial ball is actually looking for Magoma, but Brady does really well with the run. I'm just thinking, instead of taking that touch, can he drive that across first time across the box to try and find Asmajic? He just gets run out of play. That extra touch gives Bogle the time.
Well, here's Nonto chasing a long ball down the touchline. Tries to put an early cross in, it deflects, and it goes kindly for Cornell at the near post. He'll collect it. That was better from Nonto. Certainly if they can get him running at this defence, he's going to be a big threat for Leeds.
Yeah, he is, and up against the likes of Andrew Hughes, probably got a decent amount of pace, but not the most dynamic, I would say, in terms of that agility. So if you can get Nonto running at him, get him turned, it's going to cause him some problems.
It's interesting, isn't it? Nonto was the shining star in the Premier League for Leeds. It's not quite happened as regularly as he would have liked. He's had to be a bit of a bit part player over the last year and a bit. Tanaka, one of the signings of the season for Leeds, gets the ball in midfield, and Leeds have it again on halfway. They lead by 2-1. Goals for Solomon and Bogle inside 12 minutes that sandwiched Kane Kessler-Hayden's wonderful finish on 6. Preston were briefly level. All back with Roden. But Leeds will be aware, and it showed in their game with Swansea a couple of weeks ago here that was live on Talksport too, that a 1-goal lead is not enough sometimes. Yeah,
it's always precarious. So look, they are well in control of the game, there's no doubt about that, but it only takes a moment of brilliance like we saw from Kessler-Hayden, or a mistake. So there's no doubt that Leeds will want to try and get that third goal as soon as possible without leaving themselves open at the other end.
Good work from Joe Peru, wins the ball back. Brendan Aronson, not seen much of him yet. He picks it up far side, feeds it back here to Solomon. He's onto his right foot. He tried to fire it through. It might break for Nonto, hits it low. Great save from Cornell, down low to his left to beat it away for a corner. That was great from Nonto.
Yeah, it was brilliant strike. Really ferocious one, and I think Cornell does even better here for the fact that I think it just bounces just as he goes down. Cornell goes down to his left-hand side. It's a really smart save. It makes sure that it goes out wide. Yes, it's gone for the corner, but there's a lot of bodies in the box, so he makes sure he gets it clear of those.
Yeah, it was dipping, wasn't it, right in front of him, and he was at full stretch to keep it away. Corner for Leeds, leading 2-1. 28 on the clock, live on Talksport 2. All going to be swung in towards the 6-yard box, and it's headed away at the far post. Tanaka should keep this in. Is he going to put it right back in the box? Solomon has gone across to help him out. Ball. Well, Solomon's just stood there saying, well, if you're not going to come and get it, I'm not going to move anywhere. That was a nice waste of 5 seconds, wasn't it? Not often you see that happen. Nonto has it. He rolls it out over on the far side. And here now Leeds will build again. Tanaka gets it away. Griev gives him it back. Just playing keep ball at the minute, Leeds. Preston are quite happy to hold their shape. They're not going to go chasing. They know that's what Leeds want them to do. A little bit of a game of chess developing here. Leeds just quite slowly passing the ball around, waiting for that one moment where someone in a blue shirt switches off. And they tried to play it through the Firpo, and Leeds turn the ball over. Kessler-Hayden in the right back spots under pressure. Solomon all over him, and Solomon's won a throw-in. Great play from the winger.
Yeah, brilliant work, and I mean, all around the stadium, but especially in that corner opposite us, the Leeds fans really appreciate that. Yes, he's got the ability, but showing the hard work to go with it.
Another red card in League 2 AFC Wimbledon. Jake Reeves has been shown a straight red card at Doncaster. They did have the lead there, AFC Wimbledon. Kilmarnock have got one back. Danny Armstrong. Celtic 4, Kilmarnock 1. Up in Scotland. Here's Bogle for Leeds. Feeds it wide to Willie Gnonto. Gnonto has got a one-on-one situation. Just feeds it into Bogle, gets it back. The pass wasn't quite on the money. As the Leeds subs are starting to warm up, cue the big ovation here in front of us in the main stand here at Ellen Road. Ball now works its way to Gruyev. He gets it wide. Solomon just overhit the pass. Kessler Hayden gets it back, and it's thumped forward towards Osmajic, who wins the header, but got nobody with him really. So Ampadu going to hope that this is going to roll out, and Ampadu skillfully watches it out of play for a goal kick to Leeds. 2-1 Leeds lead. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk alongside us here on Talksport. What you made of the opening half an hour, Courtney?
Oh, man, it's been fantastic, hasn't it, in terms of there's been a lot of excitement. You now feel the tempo of the game has slightly changed. Leeds are quite purposely slowing it down. They've got all the control of the possession. They're looking bright, especially down that left-hand side with Solomon and Firpo, and obviously Bogle's getting forward as we expect. But probably Gnonto and Aronson are the ones where I'm thinking need a little bit more from them. Peru's done well as well, working really hard in that 9 role at the top, but yeah, just expecting a little bit more actually from Aronson and Gnonto.
Yeah, it seems a bizarre thing to say, but you almost didn't realise Aronson was playing. He's just not been involved. Granted, a lot of the play's been down the left-hand side. Manor Solomon dominating it. Here is Aronson on halfway, just turns back inside his own half.
Just think, especially with the pace that he's got. You've got Pirro up top there. If you can work off him, and yes, you know, it has been a lot down the left-hand side, but Firpo's managed to make them sort of deep runs. And I think if Aronson does the same, if he arcs onto that left-hand side, makes the deep run with the pace he's got, no one's going to pick him up, but he's not even tried it yet.
No, Leeds have it with Rodon on the edge of his own penalty area. Feeds it to Bogle. Bogle back to Tanaka. Under pressure. Challenge goes in from Brady, and Tanaka turns the ball over, puts it out for a throw, but he might have been caught here. Tanaka's gone down, and Robbie Brady, I think the fact that Robbie Brady's been so attentive to the Japanese player maybe just suggests he might have caught him there as he played the ball out of play.
Yeah, I think he potentially did, but I think it's maybe Lee's just trying to be a little bit too clever there. I think he potentially steps on him actually, looking at this replay that we've got in front of us after the ball goes out, so he doesn't mean it, but just Leeds, they've got to be careful. Yes, they're in control, they're winning, but just playing those cute little balls on the right-hand side on the edge of your own box probably isn't to be advised.
Yeah, Tanaka was injured off the field of play, so Patrick Bamford picked him up and pushed him on the field, and he's back out there now. Tanaka, ball over the top looking for Pirro, just skipped away from him and favoured there the defender Story, who goes back to his keeper Cornell, who finds a nice pass for Ben Whiteman, who's got time to turn. 2-1 here. Chelsea women have equalised. Erin Cuthbert in injury time, end of the first half. FA Cup semi-final. Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1, and Manchester City have a goal back. Kevin De Bruyne against Crystal Palace. Might be the last time we see him score in a City shirt, who knows, but he's on the board over on Talksport right now. We've had plenty of goals at the Etihad on Talksport, plenty of goals here as well on Talksport 2, where Leeds lead by 2-1. Leeds have it at the back. Here is Junior Firpo. Gets it away to Aronson. Firpo now finds Peru, who feeds it for Aronson, who's going to chase. Can he get there in front of Story? He does. Aronson into the edge of the area. White shirts arriving, finds Firpo. Firpo tries to pull it back. Brings it back into the 6-yard box. It must be! Oh, he's missed! Peru's fired it wide. He maybe got a touch of a defender, but it looked as though we were waiting for the net to bulge, and Peru has missed the target. Corner leads, still leads 2-1 up.
Well, yeah, corner, so he must have got a touch, but you thought for all the while that, yes, there's a lot of bodies in front of Peru at this moment, but it's going to go in the back of the net. But some real good last-ditch defending from Preston North End just to put the bodies on the line.
It was a great block,
wasn't it? Yeah,
it was indeed. Corner for Leeds then. Just fell invitingly 6 yards out. Peru couldn't get it in. Ball swung in towards the far post again. Rodon up with a header, but it skims out and will go out for a goal kick. You are listening to Leeds against Preston in the EFL Championship live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the app and get rewards points. 18 plus participating restaurants, delivery fees, terms apply. See mcdonalds.com for more details. So 2-1 here. Still goalless last. We heard down at Plymouth, between Plymouth and Sheffield United. We'll get an update from John Roder in due course. 35 gone here. I think Leeds will be happy, but probably as in midweek, their performance, well, look, in midweek they did score 2 goals that didn't count. They'll want that third goal, want that little comfort blanket.
Yeah, of course, and I think they're doing everything right to get that. Finally, Aronson gets himself on the ball, shows that little bit of ambition to get forward, force his way down the left-hand side. And as you mentioned, for all the world, you thought it's going to be 3-1 there to Leeds, but some fantastic defending by Lewis Gibson to keep it to 2-1.
Yeah, Leeds got Oxford away, Stoke at home, Bristol City at home, and Plymouth away to come. Let's head down to Plymouth then, where Plymouth are taking on Sheffield United. John Roder's there for Talksport 2.
8 minutes plus additional time remaining in the first half. It's still Argyle 0, Sheffield United 0. It's a niggly match. Both sides are at it, trying to win free kicks when really the free kick is not to be won. Both sides have had one shot. Both sides have had no shots on target. Tells you everything really so far. It's Plymouth Argyle 0, Sheffield United 0.
Cheers, John. 4th goal at the Etihad. Manchester City level. They were 2-0 down to Crystal Palace, but Omar Mamouche is on the scoreboard. Manchester City 2, Crystal Palace 2. Latest score there, that's over on Talksport right now. What a start to the footballing day here. The weekend underway last night live on Talksport 2 as Burnley beat Norwich. Ball back to Cornell, who's almost willing the ball to roll to him there. And then having waited so long to get it, just lumps it downfield and it's out for a throw-in. Barnet in the National League, top of the table. They lead Wealdstone by 1-0. Adebola Aluo with the goal there. 2-1 here. What will Paul Heckingbottom be thinking of his side's performance so far?
I think maybe like Preston for most of the season, it's been a bit middle of the road. It's neither been here nor there. There's obviously been the moments with the goal and some moments of some last-ditch defending, but I think it's the only sort of phrase I can think is meh. There's nothing really to it. Nothing exciting going forward, and it's not like they're sitting in a block to really try and frustrate Leeds. It's neither or at the moment.
Yeah, well, Darlow's just given the ball away over on the far side. That means Preston have it back. They're just over halfway now. 8 to go to the break here. 2-1 Leeds lead. Goals from Manor Solomon inside 4 minutes, and then Jayden Bogle in 12. After Kane Kessler-Hayden had levelled up for Preston on 6. 2-1 here. You see Joe Peru have a really good chance, but it was well blocked on the line. The ball is kept in by Solomon over on that far side. Here now is Firpo, finds Peru, gets it now to Gruyev. No Joe Rothwell at the moment for Leeds. He's got an injury problem that keeps him out. Been a good signing though on loan from Bournemouth. Ball works its way across here now to Bogle. Drop of the shoulder takes him past Magoma. Then he feeds it into Aronson. Aronson, if he sees, has got Bogle with him. He'll find Gruyev instead. He finds Bogle. Bogle feeds it wide to Firpo. Firpo on the left finds Aronson. Aronson looks for the give and go, but rather telegraphed the pass. And now the counter could be on here for Preston, but they've got no real pace. And Nonto wins it back, and it falls to Solomon, edge of the area. Little step over, he goes down in the box, but I think he might have fallen over his own feet there, and the ball cleared away, and Preston have it. Lovely skill on the edge of the box there for Preston as they work their way forward. Now they're looking for Osmajic, but Darlow took a good starting position. He'll just thump it out into the main stand here for a throw-in, but Solomon there almost too quick for his own good at the other end. Yeah,
he was. I think there was a little bit of a contact, but the ball had already gone, and we know sort of the high bar now for penalties. It was never gonna be one. I think it was a little touch from Frockier, but it's a good play again from Leeds.
Here's a chance. Magoma puts a cross in, headed behind by Rodon for a corner. Bradford were 2-0 up at Swindon. Richie Smallwood sent off. Swindon got one back, but Callum Kavanagh's completed a hat-trick in the first half for Bradford. They lead 3-1. Corner here for Preston. Out in front of the Kop end. The fans, the front half of the stand are bathed in sunlight as they look on here at Ellen Road. They'll be hoping they don't see a goal down this end for the next 10 minutes or so. It's going to be an in-swinging corner from Ben Whiteman. Opportunity for Preston to level up again. Set piece here, plenty of blue shirts moving around, ball in. Oh, that is a great catch from Darlow. That is outstanding goalkeeping, because that was whipped in. And a touch there and he's in trouble, but he got up high and he held onto it as he fell to the ground. Great goalkeeping, Carl Darlow.
Yeah, brilliant. I think the sun would have been in his eyes as well, so he's got that to contend with. Lots of bodies round him, but just nice and stable in that Leeds goal at the minute.
Here's Nonto. Thought about putting the burners on, but opts to wait for Jayden Bogle to arrive. Bogle now gets it out to Nonto, pokes the ball into Aronson, back to Nonto. Nonto goes past one, feeds it. Aronson's done beautifully, gets it into his spell, fires it straight at the keeper, heads it towards goal, and he didn't have the juice in the header. And Cornell will collect it. He got lucky and then a little bit unlucky, Aronson, all in one move, but he just couldn't find the back of the net.
Yeah, he's getting more of an impact in the game now, isn't he now, Aronson? And you're right, initially, great little triangle, Bogle, Nonto and Aronson in there. They were moaning for offside, Preston North End, but that wasn't the case. The ball trickles to him. It's a little bit behind him. He manages to almost claw it round on his left foot. Gets the shot off. The angle's against him, so he sort of can't try and find that bottom left-hand corner straight at the goalkeeper. When it comes back, it's just one of those really difficult ones because it's got no power on it. He's straining to get to it as well. And yes, arguably should have done better, but it's a more difficult chance than it looks, that one.
Yeah, certainly was, but it is still 2-1. Got 4 minutes to go to the break. Double header here on Talksport 2. Southampton against Aston Villa with Ian Danta, Perry Groves and Faye Carruthers to come this afternoon as well. Preston playing around in their all-blue strip. Leeds all in white. Lovely open game of football. Leeds very much the aggressors, but now ball over the top. Was Majic, can he bring it down? He can't. And again, Darlow's starting position was a good one, and he bowls it out and sets Firpo on his way, and Firpo up towards the halfway line. There's an intent, isn't there, about Leeds? Every time they get it, they want to go forward. They want to score goals, and they want promotion back to the Premier League, and they are 4.5 games away from a return to the Premier League. There has been a goal though down on the in the south west at Plymouth. Plymouth taking on Sheffield United. John Roder.
Plymouth Argyle 0, Sheffield United 1. The goal created by Gus Harmer. A ball out to the right hand side, and he found Jesus Raksaki, who turned inside the defender and hit a left-footed shot into the opposite corner. It's Argyle 0, Sheffield United 1.
Cheers, John. So Sheffield United in front at Plymouth then. And here Leeds in front against Preston North End, with Burnley winning last night. The top three all looking like picking up 3 points. And after a rough week for Sheffield United and Chris Wilder, Courtney, it's important they get back on winning terms as soon as they can.
Yeah, it is. And obviously Chris Wilder's come out as well and said a few things about, a small section of the supporters that he wasn't happy with. And yeah, so it's been a tough one for the fans, the players, and obviously the manager to contend with. But that's exactly what you need to get back to winning ways as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and that's a goal, obviously, with implications at both ends. Plymouth bottom of the table, 5 points from safety. Can they fight back, or will the Blades pick up a massive 3 points? Such a busy period here, the end of the season. You'll hear it all unfold live on Talksport and Talksport 2. Leeds 2, Preston 1. Nonto can't keep the ball in, and it's out for a throw-in. So it's as you were. That game, Sheffield United against Burnley on Easter Monday, is going to be huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's humongous, and I think even more so just getting bigger and bigger as the last few weeks have thrown up some surprises.
Yeah, Burnley, Sheffield United live on Easter Monday. Adrian Durham will be in the chair for that one. 5:30 start. Adam Bridge and Chris Willamar, commentary team there. Here forward now, come Preston. Is there a twist in the first half tail here? Already they've levelled once. Can they do it again? They have it over on that far side with Tudarson. He gets it back. And here now is Brady, but they're going backwards here. Brady had to win a strong challenge there and did win the challenge. It's out wide over on the far side, but Story can't keep it in. And it'll skip away. The fourth official is just leaning on his little board that'll tell us how long he's left.
Be too long. We've had the 3 goals, so you're probably looking at 2 minutes. But aside from that, it's been a free-flowing game, hasn't it?
There's not really been a stoppage in players. Even when Tanaka got injured, he was off the field, so they just carried on anyway. 2-1 to Leeds United here. Brilliant game for the neutral. As Leeds looking to attack. Well, Firpo's been pulled back here on halfway, and that is a yellow card, and only a yellow card. But Peru is pointing towards goal, saying there was no one between me and the goal. Why is that not a red card? Well, it's only a yellow. Is it Story, I think, who got booked in the end?
Yeah. And I think for me, it might be Hughes.
Yeah, I think it could be Hughes.
But I think it's the proximity in terms of the distance to go towards goal. There's a long way to go, and also it's to the left-hand side of the pitch. It's not like it's central, so I do think that's the right decision.
Yeah, OK. Well, it is a yellow card. Here now is Joe Rodon. We are into 2 added-on minutes here at Ellen Road. A blistering start to the afternoon's proceedings here on Talksport 2. Can Leeds find another opportunity before the end of the first half? Here's Joe Peru now. Does well to hold off the run. Tries to find Solomon. The ball just got blocked. Back to Peru, though. He has it. There's nobody in the box at the moment. Aronson and Nonto are just waiting on the edge of the area. Here's Firpo now. Firpo gets the ball back to Tanaka. Tanaka has a look up. Just sees what's around him. Goes back down the left again. Still, there's no one in the box. We're into the second of 2 added-on minutes. Leeds have got time. Well, they need to fashion an opportunity here sooner rather than later. Well, the referee's whistle may halt their attack. They go back to halfway. A little bit of a groan around Ellen Road. They feel they maybe can afford to have a bit of a risk here, but they've been patient. Here's Nonto, 25 yards out. Feeds it in. Lovely dummy hit first time, and Peru puts it just wide. Everybody was looking for the net to bulge. And for the second time, Joe Peru is inches away from a goal for Leeds United.
Oh, the patience nearly paid off again. Wonderful passage of play. There's the little dummy in there from Firpo. He's obviously got the shout from his teammate behind him, and from our angle I thought that was going to nestle right in that top right hand corner, but just past the post.
Inches wide at the end of a very pleasing first half. Leeds got off to a blistering start. Manor Solomon's beautiful 20-yard curling strike gave the keeper no chance, but Leeds lead lasted less than 2 minutes. Up the other end, Kane Kessler-Hayden played in right side of the penalty area. He fired a curling shot past Darlow to make it 1-1, but Leeds were back in front inside 12 minutes. Solomon, this time the provider, whipped in a beautiful cross with his left foot, and there was Bogle to bundle home from close range. Peru's had a couple of good chances. One was blocked on the line, the other one just inches past the post. Leeds on top at the moment, and they're on top of the championship at the moment as well. The 3 points they need at the break, they are in front. It's Leeds 2, Preston 1.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Mark. With Courtney in a second to dissect everything, but it's half-time at the Etihad over on Talksport 2, and what a game it is as well. Manchester City 2, Crystal Palace 2 after the first 45 minutes. Crystal Palace had gone into a 2-0 lead thanks to Eberechi Eze and Chris Richards. Eze then had a goal disallowed for offside. Kevin De Bruyne pulled one back for City, and then Omar Marmoush equalised to make it 2-2, a thriller at the Etihad as Manchester City look to get into the top 5 and cement Champions League football for themselves next season. We'll be heading to Home Park very shortly. In fact, I think the half-time whistle has just gone. John Roeder is watching Plymouth against Sheffield United.
Plymouth Argyle 0, Sheffield United 1. A goal late in the first half for Sheffield United. Jesus Raksaki with it cutting in from the right side of the penalty area to hit a left-footed shot past the goalkeeper into the opposite corner, having been set up by Gus Harmer. That, the only moment of note in a very attritional first half. Sheffield United, who'd lost their last 2 matches, well, you could see why, really, because they rarely threaten the Argyle goal. Argyle, bottom of the table, well, they huffed and they puffed, but their former goalkeeper, Michael Cooper, had very little to do in the first half. A satisfying first half for Sheffield United. Not the performance, but certainly the scoreline. Plymouth Argyle 0, Sheffield United 1.
Doesn't matter about the performance at this end of the season. season, John does it. It is all about the points. So Sheffield United, as it stands, keeping pace with Leeds United, who are 2-1 up against Preston at half-time. Courtney Sweelan-Kirk, part of our commentary team at Ellen Road. And it looked comfortable to begin with for Leeds. When they scored that goal through Manor Solomon, I thought, oh, here we go, they're just going to put the pressure on. And literally, just over a minute after that, Preston get themselves back into the game through Kane Kessler-Hayden, who actually is having a really good April. He's on loan from Aston Villa for the season, got his first goal of the season just last Saturday, scoring in that 1-1 draw against Stoke. Now the equaliser against Leeds, but Leeds then put their foot on the gas and Jayden Bogle made it 2-1. Who's the most comfortable, would you say, going into the half-time team talk?
It's Leeds without a doubt, Faye. Yes, there's been the goal. It was a wonderful goal from Kane Kessler-Hayden, don't get me wrong, but that's really all the attacking threat that's been shown from Preston North. And there's been a couple of moments where it's been a long ball and Osmajic is fighting for it, but there's nothing that's really troubled Leeds. It's set for the goal and a couple of corners that Darlow's come and collected really well. Aside from that, I don't think he's had a save to make. So I think Leeds, it's certainly the more comfortable. It could be 3, it could quite conceivably be 4. But as me and Mark were saying in commentary, they would like that third goal. We all know that a one-goal advantage is always very, very tough in football, and only takes a moment for Preston to find something out of nothing like they did for their first goal. So, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind, though, that Leeds are the much better team and they're looking like a better attacking threat.
Yep, they certainly are, and they head into the break. 2-1 up against Preston. Back at Ellen Road very shortly for the second half commentary, which we will bring you, as well as updates from that crucial game at Home Park between Plymouth and Sheffield United. Elsewhere, it's been really fascinating, apart from in League One, to be honest, where both games are goalless. The race for the second automatic spot is on. Wrexham are in second, Wycombe are in third. 3 points separate them. There are 5 games to go, but in the 12:30 games, they're both in. Wrexham head to Wigan and Wycombe are at home to Stevenage, but no goals in either of those games. In League Two, though, it has been absolutely thrilling. So top of the table, Bradford were 2-0 up after 10 minutes against Swindon. 2 goals from Callum Kavanagh, but then midfielder Richard Smallwood was sent off on 14 minutes and Bradford made it even tougher for themselves. Swindon pulled one back through an own goal by Neil Byrne. Kavanagh then got his hat-trick, but in added time, 45 plus 4, Swindon pulled one back through Kabongo Shiamanga. So at half-time, it's Swindon 2, Bradford 3. AFC Wimbledon had been looking comfortable against Doncaster. They still lead by a goal to 0. It's 4th against 5th at the Eco Power Stadium. Alistair Smith got the only goal of the game, but they're down to 10 men. Jake Reeves was sent off, but AFC Wimbledon, as it stands, have moved above Doncaster into 4th. That means they're just a point outside the automatic promotion places, with third place Walsall in action against Barrow at 3 and second place Port Vale playing Bromley. But of course they are going to have to play all of the second half with 10 players. Into the National League, Barnet atop and looking set for promotion back to League Two. They're currently a goal to the good against Wealdstone through Adebola Aluwo on 31 minutes, which has moved them 12 points as it stands above York in second. And we're just about to kick off, I think, the second half in the Women's FA Cup semi-final between Chelsea and Liverpool. Olivia Smith had put Liverpool ahead, but Erin Cuthbert equalised in added time of the first half, so it's 1-1 there. Right, you're up to date with everything. Thrilling matches across the EFL Championship, the National League and the Women's FA Cup, as well as Premier League, of course, over on Talksport. It's half-time at Ellen Road. Leeds 2, Preston 1. Second half commentary coming up next. We're also going to look ahead to our exclusive 3 p.m. Premier League match as Southampton host Aston Villa.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the English Football League.
EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get reward points too. 18 plus participating restaurants. Delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
Looking for specialist power tools? Then look no further than CEF Power Pro. Our next day delivery on over 3,000 products means you can get straight to work with top brands like Milwaukee, DeWalt and Makita. That's specialist tools for serious pros. We've got the power tools you need to work smart and get the job done. Visit cef.co.uk or your local branch today. CEF Power Pro. Engineered for power, built for pros.
With Virgin Money, You can feed your wanderlust with epic travel perks, so you get extra for your money. And you can boost your balance with cashback and savings, so you get extra for your money. You can even enjoy rewards from across the Virgin family, so you get extra for your money. That's right. With Virgin Money, you get more for your money. Add extra to ordinary. Search Virgin Money. Backed by the Current Account Switch Service, UK 18+ terms apply. Virgin Money is a trading name of Clydesdale Bank PLC.
The flame-grilled Whopper from Burger King. The most food-filling burger.
Is it, though?
Is that?
Yes. A slightly better version of you.
I don't understand.
Just like the new Whopper that's juicier and tastier than ever before. Same, but hits different. That's my line now.
Oh, sorry.
Whopper never tasted so good. Order now on the Burger King app.
Golf clubs for cash. Europe's leading retailer of great value pre-owned golf equipment. With over 40,000 items in stock and 50,000 five-star Trustpilot reviews, you'll find what you need at golf clubs for cash. Plus, until the end of April, celebrate the Masters with discount code Talksport10 for 10% off your order. For value, choice and quality, visit golfclubs4cash.co.uk. Download the app or visit us in-store at Edinburgh and Warrington. Terms and conditions apply.
Talksport 2 is your dynamic destination for all the latest sporting action, featuring live commentary of all the biggest events, including football, PGA golf, horse racing, Premiership rugby, cricket, boxing, and all the big-hitting drama of the NFL. Touchdown! Plus, Talksport 2's official betting partner, William Hill, is always on hand with the insight and in-depth analysis you need. Talksport 2 with official betting partner, William Hill. 18+, gambleaware.org.
EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Enjoy a tasty night in delivered to your door with McDelivery. 18+ participating restaurants. Delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
The rousing radio broadcast.
He hits it first time. What a volley, what a goal.
Game day.
Pushing the apex of live football.
EFL Game Day Live on Talksport 2.
Southampton have been the architects of their downfall all season.
Southampton just not at the level, as we've said.
What a disunited club it is right now, both on and off the pitch.
Finished here, Southampton, who, by the way, stay rock bottom 1, Chelsea 5.
A pathetic first half for Southampton. Right on half-time, Southampton 0, Tottenham Hotspur 5. RM, get out of our club. There's a banner been unfurled at the Northam stand.
They're one of the worst side in Premier League history.
The defending. What's going on, Jeff? They're not learning any lessons.
So, breaking news from the Premier League: Southampton have announced and confirmed their new manager is Ivan Juric.
Goodness me, Southampton, I don't know what to say. They lose again. It's 10 without a win. Full time at St Mary's. Southampton 0, Brentford 5.
Southampton 0, Brighton 4. One of the easiest days of Brighton's season.
I'm afraid Southampton are not a Premier League side.
You can stick Pep Guardiola in charge of Southampton. You can play whatever brand of football you want. They were going to get relegated.
And Southampton's awful appearance in the Premier League this season is now officially over. First 3, Southampton 1, Tottenham relegate Southampton back to the Championship.
Oh dear, who's going to be playing Southampton next year in the Championship, though? That is what we're focusing on here on EFL Game Day Live. Faye Carruthers with you here on Talksport 2. Second half between Leeds and Preston coming up shortly from Ellen Road. 2-1 to Leeds at half-time. So Leeds back at the top of the table as it stands. Sheffield United are a goal up against bottom of the table Plymouth, but they stay third as it stands, 2 points behind second placed Burnley. One of those 3 is going to be in the playoffs, but maybe Southampton won't play any of them. Maybe all 3 will go back up. They all got relegated from the Premier League, didn't they, last season? Could go straight back up. Over on Talksport, it's half-time at the Etihad. Manchester City 2, Crystal Palace 2. City coming from 2 goals behind in that one. And we are bringing you another Premier League exclusive at 3 o'clock. Southampton, maybe the shackles will be off because they've finally been relegated. It felt inevitable for such a large part of the season. They're hosting Aston Villa, and our commentary team, former Arsenal winger Perry Groves and Talksport's Ian Danter are with me to look ahead to the game. Do you reckon the shackles are going to be off, Perry?
Well, I saw them last Sunday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They had shackles on, they had diving boots on. Honestly, Faye, it was actually embarrassing because we all know they're going to get relegated, but they played sort of walking football.
Spurs weren't even in like fourth gear. You know, when you're looking, are you going to get angry? You're going to take the responsibility as players? Nothing like that happened at all. And the worrying thing, when Ivan Juric was the manager, at half-time, he didn't make any changes whatsoever. So it wasn't surprising to anybody, was it? He got sacked. Actually, Ivan Juric made Nathan Jones look like Carlo Ancelotti when he was here. Seriously, that's how bad Southampton have been under Juric. I think he goes down as the worst manager, is it per points per game? Over 10 games in Premier League history.
Listen, he was on a hiding to nothing when Russell Martin left anyway, wasn't it? And it does beg the question of whether the Southampton hierarchy should have stuck with Russell Martin in the first place. Particularly, he knows the club, he's brought them up. You know, he could therefore do it again.
I don't know, Faye. I mean, I like Russell Martin. I thought that the way that he got Southampton up was commendable. But to be as bloody-minded as he was, to not have a contingency plan if the passing style of football didn't work, was his downfall. And I was, as part of that little bit of audio footage we played out, the game I was here for against Tottenham just before Christmas time, when the banners started going up wanting Russell Martin out, once that starts happening and people start, digging out the bed sheets and the black paint and starting to, go against you, it's a battle you're never going to win, at least it seems to me. We'll never know. We'll never know is the simple answer to that question, Faye, as to what would have happened if Russell Martin had stayed. If he'd adjusted himself tactically, maybe they might have had a puncher's chance, but I don't think he had the playing staff to play any other way.
I think Faye was a bit of a vanity project, obviously, from Russell Martin as well, as Dan said there, playing out from the back. You've got Bednarek, Harwood, Bellis. After a period of time, you could tell that the players didn't buy into Russell Martin's style of play because they'd lost confidence completely. They were leaking goals all over the place. I was actually here, lucky enough to be here for Talksport, when they had their only home win against Everton. And then you think, that groundswell, the positivity that might take them on. It didn't, and they were easy to play against. If you said to teams, in the Premier League, how would you want a team play against you? It would be Southampton. And it's your job as a manager to impose the tactics to survive in the Premier League, not to your team to be easy on the eye so you're going to get another job.
Well, maybe a good game then for Aston Villa to bounce back from that disappointment in midweek in the Champions League against PSG in that case, because obviously this game is more about concentration. They're going to be tired, aren't they, a lot of these players, sandwiched in between the first and the second leg, which is next week. So what kind of team are we expecting Unai Emery to put out?
Well, there were a couple that didn't start in Paris, like Mings and Ramsey, who I would expect to come in. Watkins, I think those three would be I'd be really surprised, Faye, if those three weren't starting this afternoon. But other than that, I think Disasi might play at right back. He came on at half-time for Matty Cash because he was on a booking because Kvaratskhelia was giving him twisted blood. He got in the book already. So maybe Cash will come back in from the start. Asensio, yeah, there's another one. So there's three or four that Unai Emery deliberately left out the starting lineup. He brought Pau Torres back for Mings, for example. Yeah. So other than that, it could be a completely different side with him really thinking about Tuesday night in mind. I wouldn't blame him for doing that because I think a Villa side with 8 or 9 changes should still be more than capable of beating this Southampton side at full strength.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to interrupt you both because the players are back out at Ellen Road. We will continue this conversation at 2:30, little under an hour's time, when we start our build-up to the game at St Mary's. Southampton against Aston Villa. Ian Danter and Perry Groves will be with me for that one. We'll talk about, of course, the Virtu Trophy final, which is live on Talksport 2 tomorrow. Birmingham against Peterborough. Birmingham, of course, promoted this week from League One back to the Championship. But let's head back to Ellen Road, shall we, for the second half. At the moment in the Championship, Leeds United doing their job, keeping calm heads. Sheffield United are as well against Plymouth, who are struggling at the bottom of the Championship. Can Leeds United, who are now back at the top of the table, stay there? Let's find out with our commentary team at Ellen Road, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk and Mark Wilson.
Cheers, Faye. Leeds just emerging from the tunnel here. Preston being out for a minute or so as Paul Higginbottom looks to get his side to try and cause a bit of an upset here in the second half. Largely outplayed in that first 45 minutes. They trailed 2-1 at the break. No changes for either side at half-time. So Cornell is the goalkeeper for Preston. A back three of Story, Gibson and Hughes. It's Magoma, Whiteman, Tanarsson and Kesler Hayden across the middle, with Frocchia and Brady behind Milutin Osmaic, who's not really had too much of a way of involvement in that first 45. Darlow, the keeper for Leeds. Bogle, Rodon, Ampadu and Firpo the back four. Tanaka and Gruev holding. Nonto, Aronson, Solomon by Peru, who starts up top. Leeds attacking the Kop end here. Second half is just underway. Leeds all in white, the all blue of Preston, as the team's looking to feel their way back into the second half. Leeds were very good in that first 45, Courtney. The only thing missing for them really was that third goal.
Yeah, and they went mightily close. The Peru chance was the big one, wasn't it, that was effectively blocked a couple of yards out. So they'll be looking to get that third goal as quickly as possible.
Well, here's Firpo at the edge of the area, pulls it back to the penalty spot just in front of Aronson. It's hooked away by Whiteman, kept in by Ampadu, finds Gruev, finds Tanaka. Gruev has it back to Ampadu. He'll have to go back to Darlow. Didn't have a lot to do first half, but did deal very nicely with a couple of corners that were swung into his penalty area. So confidence building at the back for Leeds, who really were guilty of switching off, weren't they, for that equaliser? But after that, they've been pretty good.
Yeah, they have, and you're right about Darlow. I mean, he's not. I don't think he's had any saves to make in terms of, getting shots off. But you're right in terms of the way that he has commanded his area from the corners, especially when he's been very much crowded out, has been excellent. And as you say, it gives that confidence to the defence and also the rest of the team.
Well, Bogle's just lost possession inside his own half, and now the ball is with Tadarsson. Back on halfway for Preston. 2-1 here. We'll keep you up to date with all the goals as they're going elsewhere. We'll get the team news from that big 3 o'clock kickoff. Southampton against Aston Villa with Dance and Perry Groves. That'll follow us straight away here. Heck of a game over on Talksport as well, with Manchester City 2, Palace 2. In fact, it's 3-2 now to Manchester City, so they've turned it right round. Kovacic with the latest goal for Pep Guardiola's side. Here now come the visitors here. Preston on the attack. Have it wide on their left-hand side. They're just looking to pop off a few passes. Frocchia has it. They'll let it back to halfway. They've not really got too much quality into the penalty area. There could be a chance here for Brady, who shrugs off one. Gets it away to Tadarsson. He feeds it back wide on the left. Osmaic waits in the middle. Brady's got the ball, whips in across as the far post. Firpo just has to chest it behind. It was a whip ball in, and had there been someone in front of goal there, Courtney Sweetman, Kurt, that was a presentable opportunity.
Yeah, it was a really good ball across, and Kesler Hayden on that right wing back role is doing everything that he should do. He's right on that back post area, waiting to try and nod it in. Just make contact with Firpo, and I think that's why Firpo, rightly so, is probably a bit annoyed because it looks like a foul to me, but Firpo is making sure that he's staying alert at that back post area.
Yeah, he is indeed. Well, it is a corner for Preston. Nerves building. Remember, Sheffield United in front down at Plymouth. That Raksaki goal just before half-time. And here Preston, 3 minutes into the second half, looking to swing the ball in. There's still a large number of people coming back from their half-time refreshments down in front of us here. Ball, short corner, work to the edge of the box. What a save, Darlow. Shot drilled by Whiteman. Danger not done yet. Brady dancing his way to the box. Well, it was a corner that looked to be played short to the edge of the box, but they dummied it. It fell to Whiteman on the edge of the area. He smashed it, and Darlow at full tilt made a great save.
Yeah, brilliant save, and just said maybe a minute or so ago he's not had a save to make yet, but that was a big one. Still in his vicinity. He's not trying to find the top corner, that ball. But still, it's a really good save to make, and especially because it's coming through a lot of body, so he would have seen it late, Darlow.
Yeah, I don't think he could have hit that any better. He went to place it, but he hit it so cleanly, Ben Whiteman. And it's another corner here. More danger for Leeds to have to defend. This time the ball whipped in near post. It's headed upwards, but away from goal, headed back into the penalty area, and the flag went up for offside as Osmaic got a volley on it. I think there's been a bit of a nasty collision there as well. About 8 yards out from goal, Osmaic is just checking on the well-being. I think Ampadu has got a bit of a bang, and he helps Ampadu to his feet, and they're both back on and up with it. But that was half a chance there for Preston.
Yeah, nice to see as well. Both helped each other up there. I think it was an honest challenge from both, really going for the ball. Obviously Osmaic trying to put it in the back of the net, Ampadu trying to clear the ball, and they just make contact with each other at the same time.
They did. Free kick then for Darlow. For that offside, it is still Leeds 2, Preston 1. Mark Wilson, the former Liverpool women's striker, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk here at a sunny Ellen Road, as Leeds look to close in on a huge 3 points. Whilst it's 2-1, you can imagine it's going to get nervy. And one thing we do know, and Preston, remember, were pegged back with a late goal by Cardiff in midweek and added on time to end up with a 2-2 draw. Preston are going to throw everything at this the longer this goes. Lovely little flick from Solomon. Aronson plays it to Peru. Is he going to hit it first time into the box? He does, but it just goes past the far post. Didn't quite have the pace to take it any further. He had to take it early. He hit it pretty well, but it just bobbled across the face of goal and wide past that far post.
Andrew Hughes is down at the moment. Not sure what happens, but surprised Aronson actually didn't take that on himself. It's unselfish, but you're right with Piru. He's not probably got that pace to go and really test Andrew Hughes. So takes the shot on early, but does the right thing. Goes across the goalkeeper. He's trying to find that bottom right-hand corner. It's just not precise enough.
Well, that's 3 chances he's had now. One was blocked, one shaved the far post at the other end, and that one was maybe half a metre wide. Andrew Hughes is in a bit of trouble here, but I'm wondering if it's more an impact injury, because the physio's not come on and he's almost trying to walk it off now. Referee has made them get on with it today. It's been a decent spectacle. John Busby, just the one yellow card in that first half, and it went in the way of Andrew Hughes for a blatant pull back on Peru. But another half chance here. Let's get down to Home Park then, see how the second half has started. We know that Sheffield United are in front. How's the second half going, John Roder?
And they still lead by 1-0. It could have been 2. Raksaki, who got the goal for the Blaze just before half-time, was put clear on the right-hand side, cut in field, but his shot was saved one-handed by Connor Hazard. It's Plymouth Argyle 0, Sheffield United 1.
Cheers, John. Firpo just dispossesses his opposite fullback Kesler Hayden, and here come Leeds again. Kesler Hayden's gone down again. The referee's saying get on with it, and they will play on, and here do Leeds go down the left. Here's Solomon, cuts back. Tanaka made a nice run. He's still down, the fullback, but Leeds is still playing on. Here's Tanaka now, and the ball goes out for a throw-in, and now the referee, I think, will invite the physio on, but he's been pretty keen, hasn't he, the referee, John Busby, not to allow the physios on, but he has stayed down for quite a while here.
Yeah, he has, and rightly so. He didn't deem it a foul. It looked more of a coming together to me. It was really something of nothing. I'm just watching the replay back on the monitors we've got in front of us in the press box, and quite an innocuous one. So rightly so, the referee has every right to try and play it on. Leeds are not obliged to kick the ball out, and yeah, I think it's the right decision for me.
Yeah, although I think he could be injured here, Kane Kesler Hayden. It was innocuous, and I think it was his standing foot that was the problem, wasn't it? And just the way he fell over, I think he could be injured here, and he could be quite badly hurt. I hope that's not the case, but they're doing the range of movements and everything now, and well, thankfully he's going to sit up, so hopefully he's okay. But I think they are the worst ones, aren't they, those?
And I think he just connects as Firpo moves with the ball. I think he connects with the back of the ankle. He doesn't look overly, he's up now, he doesn't look overly comfortable, but hopefully it's just one of those where it's an impact, and when he gets moving again, it'll right itself.
Yeah, he's hobbling off towards this near side, so play will carry on as soon as he's off the field, and it remains 2-1 to Leeds United. We have had 8.5 minutes here in the second half. I think if they do get a third here, the roof will come off. They are announced plans. They're going to redevelop the ground here, increase the capacity by over 10,000. That's the plan. Here's Willie Nonto edge of the area from a throw-in, gets it to Manor Solomon, who was outstanding in that opening 20 minutes or so for Leeds. Kesler Hayden's just trying to run off his injury, but it's not a convincing run off at the minute, whether he wants to come back on or not. Here's Bogle down the right, drills in across, great ball in, but there were 3 blue shirts before it got to Peru, and it's cleared away far side, but that was another good cross. He has come back on, Kesler Hayden, and it's a throw-in for Leeds on the far side, but Leeds on the attack again.
Yeah, it doesn't look convincing, though, Kesler Hayden. If I'm Solomon, I'm thinking, give me the ball, let me run at him, let me test that ankle, because it doesn't look right.
Well, they've got another throw-in over on the far side of the field. Leeds have got some subs warming up, as have the visitors as well. No changes as yet. There's the ball over on the far side in the sun. Nonto turns it round the corner to Peru, back to Nonto. Nonto went for the shot, blocked at source. Here now is Gruyev. Looks up, he'll see Manor Solomon. Solomon left-hand side of the penalty area. Is he looking to work it on his right? No, he's going on his left. He's going to drive it across goal. Poked against the crossbar, Peru. It's just not his day at the moment. It cannons off the crossbar and away to safety. He looks certain to score. Another great Solomon cross. Here's Nonto now. Leeds continuing to attack. Here's Brendan Aronson. Feeds it to Firpo. Little flick finds Solomon. 25 yards out. Aronson makes a good run on the outside. Aronson squares it. Nonto's put it over. Wow, two great chances for Leeds. Peru hits the crossbar and Nonto side foots over from 12 yards out. Still 2-1.
Well, Nonto's asking for a corner, but I think that's more in hope than expectation, trying to save his blushes. But the first one initially, and this is what I said about Solomon, Test Kessler Hayden, he doesn't look right, and he goes down the side of him. Great ball in. It's a bit of defending in there as well. I'm not sure who it is. I think it might be Andrew Hughes that's putting Peru under a little bit of pressure, but still, he should do better. Cannons off the crossbar, and then very similar situation where it's the overlap this time. Ball comes across, and Nonto has to do better.
He's got half the goal to aim at there, hasn't he? And he misses the target. Here now is Ampadu. Fires it to Solomon. Solomon looking infield. Leeds are looking rampant at the moment, and you get the feeling if they get through, they may well go on and get more. James McAtee's got a fourth. Manchester City 4, Palace 2. Over on Talksport right now. Ball given away edge of the penalty area, and Preston will go back to their keeper Cornell, who's happy that it is only 2 against his name as Osmajic tries to bring it down. He's got a little bit of a lone figure, hasn't he, Milutin Osmajic? They've not got any bodies around him at all. He's feeding on scraps at the minute. No, and you know, he will always work hard. He will go to the end, and if he does get a chance, he'll probably take it, but he's been very isolated. As indeed. Ball now on the near side. They've got it, back Gruyev, back to Darlow's been a bit of a spectator for the last 10 minutes or so. Ball played forward, looking to try and find over on the far side Bogle, whose touch is good. Bogle brings it down, cuts in field, and Bogle now heads off on a run. He's been pulled back. That's short. Well, he's going to wave play on. He'll bring it back now, and I think that should have been a yellow card, if I'm honest. There's certainly a pull on the shirt there of Bogle, but it's a free kick to Leeds. Yeah, I was really surprised that the referee's not pulled that back for the caution, but again, doing what he's done all game, the referee just trying to let things play, tries to play the advantage, but comes to nothing. Really good referee. Yeah, it was. Had a good game. Leeds fans in full voice. Leeds 2, Preston 1 here at Ellen Road. Here's Manor Solomon now on that left again. He's looking to cut infield. Goes one way, then the other, and now he's going back on the outside. His touch is at the moment magical. He finds Aronson, who wanted to play it back to Solomon but opted for safety instead. Aronson wide on the left himself now. Stuart McCall barking out the orders. Former Bradford, Everton, Rangers midfielder. And now here goes Ampadu off on a run. He's dispossessed, referee deems unfairly. And that's a free kick that Ampadu wanted to take, but from slightly the wrong position. So the referee will make them take it again. Leeds on the front foot again. 58 gone, 2-1. I think Joe Peru, if we're honest, Courtney's got a score, hasn't he? That chance. I mean, he's had 4 opportunities. You know, the last one he had before hitting the crossbar is probably a half chance. It is quite, you know, it's quite a half chance, a difficult opportunity. But the rest of them, the ones he's had, he should probably have 2 goals. So yeah, it's unfortunate for him. He's having one of those days, I suppose, but he's got to keep going, which he will. And try and bury the next one. Yeah, well, the thing for him, the chances keep coming, and he'll hope that's the case. 15 league goals for Joe Peru this season. Here at Preston, up towards halfway. They had that good early chance from the corner. Zampadu's header's not a great one. He's a little bit fortunate there that Frockyar slipped just in behind him, and that allowed Firpo to advance forward. He's bundled over by Osmajic, and now it's a free kick for Leeds. Still to come this afternoon, all the goals as they're going over on Talksport with Adrian Durham. But we'll be heading for full match commentary. Southampton against Aston Villa. Let's get the team news with Ian Dancer.
And 2 changes for Southampton from the disappointing defeat at Tottenham. Stevens and Onuachu come in for Aribo and Dibbling, who both dropped to the bench. Southampton definitely playing 5 at the back. 4 changes Villa ahead of the second leg against Paris Saint-Germain. Torres, Digne, Kamara and McGinn all out. Mings, Maatsen, Onana and Asensio return. Live on Talksport 2 at 3 Wills. After you're done, it's Southampton against the Villa.
Cheers, Dance. Looking forward to that big weekend for Dance. He'll be at Wembley tomorrow for the Virtue Cup final as Birmingham take on Peterborough. Birmingham promoted during the week. Dance will be there as part of our team on Talksport 2 tomorrow. All the action from Wembley. Right here, 2-1 to Leeds, an hour gone. And Leeds have it over on the far side, their right-hand side, down by the corner flag as they attack the goal away to our right. Here's Nonto, flicks it to Joe Peru. He gets the ball, holds it up nicely, feeds it back over on the far side to Bogle. Bogle, good skill, gets it back to Aronson, and Leeds again just happy to hold possession and be patient. That's the word of the day for them. Here's Firpo now. Makes his way into the box. Back heel, back to Firpo. Firpo shot block. Good defending, in fairness, from Preston. It's behind for a corner, but this pressure now is incessant from Leeds.
Yeah, brilliant defending from Whiteman. The only thing I will say is, can Firpo take that first time? The little back heel was magical from Aronson. I think if he hits that first time, Firpo's got a better chance, but that first touch to set him up for the shot just gives Whiteman the opportunity to come across.
Here's the corner. Towards the far post, keeper gets a great punch on it, then got clattered by his own man there. That was good work from Cornell. Punch almost reaches the halfway line. Nonto will go back to Bogle, who may well go back to Darlow here, as Leeds are just pushed away from goal for the time being. Still 2-1 at the moment. Leeds' best form of defence is attack, because they're keeping Preston Penn back in their own half, but they haven't crucially got that third goal. Still 2-1 here. It feels a matter of time, but we all know the longer it goes on at 2-1, Preston will get a look somewhere. Here now is Firpo. Thought about playing again for Solomon. Finds Gruyev. Gruyev has it. Feeds it back to Solomon, who's got a little bit of time this time. Takes it forward towards the left edge of the box. Feigns left and right. Feeds it nice to Tanaka. 30 yards out. Is he going to have a shot? No, he'll get it to Nonto. Nonto back onto his left foot. Back onto his right. Can't quite find the space. Finds Bogle. 5 white shirts wait in the middle. Cross to Peru. Just couldn't get his header on target. Wasn't quite tall enough there. And it's headed wide of the target, and it remains 2-1.
It's a brilliant ball from the right-hand side from Bogle. It's just a shame the angle for Peru that he's coming at it with, because it's just over the top of him. He gets something to it, but it's on the top of his head. He can't angle it towards goal, and it's because it's sort of a straight run. It's coming from the penalty spot. Then, you know, that's right, because that's his positioning. But in an ideal world, if he was coming onto that ball, he'd have had a lot better opportunity, but it's just timing for him.
Well, Cornell is sat on his goal line injured at the moment. He's got a bit of a ankle problem, it seems. He's just going to have a drink. The physio comes on. Let's go back down to Home Park then. Plymouth any nearer to an equaliser against Sheffield United? John Roder.
Not really. 63 minutes played. It's Plymouth Argyle 0, Sheffield United 1. Jezefran Raksaki with the goal just before half-time. Plymouth have just made a substitution, bringing on Mohamed Tejani, the striker, on for Callum Wright. Sheffield United, it has to be said, have played much better in this second half so far than they did in the first, when they were rather ponderous, it has to be said. But still, Plymouth Argyle trying to get a way back, but they simply can't at the moment. Plymouth Argyle 0, Sheffield United 1.
Cheers, John. So as it stands, Leeds are top of the Championship. They leapfrogged Burnley on goal difference. Burnley won last night, and Sheffield United will remain in third, 2 points behind the top two, but that's as it stands. Plenty can change. Right, we're going to see changes here. Cornell, the keeper, is back up and fit and ready to go, but Paul Heckingbottom has decided it's time to utilise some of his bench. Ryan Porteous is about to come on, as is Emil Rees, and Emil Rees replaces Robbie Brady, and also been replaced Jordan Story. So 2 changes for Paul Heckingbottom then into this second half. Preston not really at the moment having any of the ball.
No, they're not. Quite attacking change as well. I wonder if Rees actually might go up top. It does look like it actually, Osmajic, just to get round him a little bit more and give him a little bit of help, because he's been so isolated.
I know they've not had a lot of the ball in an attacking sense, Preston, but even when it goes to Osmajic, there's very rarely anyone within 20 yards of him, so it is a little bit of help would be welcome, you would imagine.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing, when it does get in and around him, you know he's got the ability to battle with Ampadu, to get the flick on, but he knows there's no point in trying to get the flick on because there's no one around him. So he's battling with Ampadu. He's been trying to maybe bring it down on his chest, but it's just been too much of a thankless task.
Well, Preston had that one chance right at the start of the second half here on Talksport 2. The well-worked free kick, Whiteman shot, well saved by Darlow. Since then, they've not really had an attack. But they are on the attack now. Okia gets the ball away. Porteous into the action. He gets the ball away to Gibson. And Gibson has it back, and Leeds try and squeeze high up the field. They lead by 2-1. All the goals coming in the opening 12 minutes here. But Leeds have had chance after chance as the ball played forward. Darlow will let it run away, and it goes behind for a goal kick. You are listening to Leeds against Preston in the EFL Championship, live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the app and get rewards points. 18 plus, participate in restaurants, delivery fees, terms apply. See mcdonalds.com for more details. 2-1 here. Who is going to prevail in the West Yorkshire sunshine? Ball played forward, headed away by Preston. Bogle will head it back to Nonto. Nonto holds it up and earns a throw-in over on that far side. Ball played forward here, and a chance for Aronson to get in down the channel. He's got there. Can he hold it up on the right-hand side? Lays it back, looking for Bogle. Bogle tries to find Nonto. Nonto on the turn, finds Joe Peru. Peru back to goal. Almost had too much time there. Feeds it down to Manor Solomon. Solomon shoots, and it's side-footed and tipped wide of the post for a corner. Cornell claims he didn't touch it, but I think there was a fingertip on that. Solomon pulling the trigger, and maybe just there, Joe Peru, that lack of cutting edge in front of goal, he just dwelt on that a bit too long.
Yeah, he did, and I'm with you, Mark. I do think that's a fingertip save, but Nonto does ever so well in the build-up, drops the shoulder, managed to get himself in the box, but you can see Piru is just having one of those games where it's not quite falling for him.
Needs one to go in here off his midriff or his backside or whatever. He just needs one to go in, you feel. Leeds need one to go in as well to ease the tension. Ball whipped in, it's a great corner, it's in there on the line, and somehow it's not gone in. There were 4 Leeds shirts around it. The ball was sat a yard out from the goal and nobody could turn it home.
I've literally got no idea how that doesn't go in the back of the net. There's so many bodies. I think Roden was in and about, and Roden was in and about, and he is, and I don't know what. It's madness. So it's literally 2 yards out. And it looks like he passes it backwards. It's
hit the inside of his knee, hasn't it? It hits him and goes forward. It's a goal. It's hit the inside of his knee, and he's almost cleared it. He'd have been proud of that one if it had been at the other end. It was almost impossible. Leeds somehow finding ways not to score. Here's Firpo. We'll go down to Home Park again in a moment, but Leeds just continuously attacking here. They lead by 2-1. Bogle down the right. Nonto sets off in front of him. Bogle goes to the byline. Bogle, can he keep it in? I think that went out. It did go out. It's a goal kick. Let's head back to Home Park. Plymouth against Sheffield United with John Roder.
Still Plymouth 0, Sheffield United 1, but Argyle have hit the bar. Ryan Hardy with a shot that bounced into the ground over a crowd of defenders as Sheffield United tried to clear a free kick. Triple change for the Blades as well. Moore, Brereton, Diaz and Sariki are all on as they seek a second goal. It's still Plymouth 0, Sheffield United 1.
Cheers, John. There's going to be a twist somewhere, that is for sure. I'm just not quite sure where it's going to be. Well, what about this? Swindon 3, Bradford 3. Bradford were 2-0 up and 3-1 up, but crucially down to 10. Richie Smallwood sent off. Peru gets the ball away to Aronson. He's waiting for Bogle to arrive, and whilst he was waiting, he got pickpocketed and the ball cleared away to halfway. So 3-3 there, Swindon Bradford. Some crucial games, remember, over on Talksport. Manchester City 4, Palace 2. Palace were 2-0 up in that game. Here's Solomon trying to get in behind, but Kessler Hayden's across and will guide the ball back. You can't imagine Leeds are going to have all these chances and not take one, but at the same time, you just feel that Preston are going to get a chance at the other end. Are they going to steal it here?
Well, exactly, and that's the thing. You get so many chances and you don't put them away. You're almost waiting for that sucker punch, and they've not had many chances, Preston. They won't continue to have many, but you're right, Mark. They'll get 1 or 2 within the last 20 minutes, and if Leeds don't get that third goal, it might come back to bite them.
Yeah, it could do. Here the ball played forward by Preston. Rare attacking foray for them. 69 gone. You're live on Talksport 2. Mark Wilson with former Liverpool women's striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. Good challenge from Ampadu as Majic wins a throw-in for his side, which he takes quickly, maybe too quickly, and they've given it away here, the visitors, but they will win it back with Porteous. He gets it away inside to Darson, and look at it, you can sense a bit of nervousness. This is really the first time Preston have been over the halfway line in what seems an eternity. Could be a long old last 20 minutes unless Leeds can get that third goal. And they have had some genuine chances. The more you see that Roda miss, incredible that it didn't go in.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's actually harder to do what he did and steer it away from goal than it is to score, and you could see his head in his hand straight away, and could have been the goal that puts the game to bed, but they're still searching, Leeds.
I think had Leeds have got a third, I think that would have been it. I'm not sure Preston have got enough to come back. However, it's 2-1. And as Swansea showed here a couple of weeks ago, you're still in it till the final whistle. Well, it's 2-1 and they nick one late in added on time. All the goals as they go in with Adrian on Talksport. Adrian Durham around the grounds. We'll be going to St Mary's. Southampton against Aston Villa. Ian Danton, Perry Groves with a call for that one. Looking forward to that. Villa disappointed in midweek, not done yet in Europe, but I guess if they can get 3 points today, it strengthens their hand in terms of a Champions League return should the worst happen this midweek. Free kick here for Preston. Are they just going to play it forward? No, they're going to play it short here, and a chance now to work the ball out wide on this right-hand side. They'll work it down the touchline. Tadarsson has it. He plays it in now. They are going to whip the ball in. Whiteman headed away by Joe Peru. And it's up to halfway. And listen to the encouragement of the Leeds fans saying, come on Leeds, get out of your own half, get out of your own penalty area. Billy Sharp's been sent off. Keeper's come a mile out here, gets a punch. He might have handled outside the area. He's out of his goal. They've gone for the chip and it's just over the top. But they are asking Preston here, and I think the referee is going to say he's handled this outside the box, Carl Darlow. This is going to be a free kick in the D, straight in front of goal. He's made a decision there, and he has got that one awfully wrong, Carl Darlow.
Yeah, and the referee, fair play to him, he's got it absolutely spot on. And Darlow, I think he gets to that point where he comes and he probably knows when he connects with this that he's outside of the box, but he's almost come too far not to get anything on it. So the fact that he punches it when he does is thinking, right, let me take the yellow card, because if I stop now and try and backtrack, it could be worse and I could concede.
So Darlow in the book, but more damagingly, potentially, is a free kick here, and it is right obviously on the edge of the box. And this is a big opportunity here for Preston North End, one that they didn't expect to get. Well, our Leeds goalkeeping woes about to bite them again. A game in which they have dominated for 72 minutes. They lead by 2-1, but it's a free kick. Is it Whiteman stood over it? I'm not sure. I think it is Ben Whiteman who stood over it at the moment.
Tordarson's there as well with him, I think.
Yeah, he is. The way that Ben Whiteman struck that earlier chance from a very similar position, I would imagine it is Ben Whiteman who's lined it up. It's a very short run-up. The biggest challenge here is probably getting it up and over. Darlow waits in pink. He's arranging his wall. These are nervy moments at Ellen Road. This will be an absolute smash and grab. Whiteman and Tadarsson over it. Tadarsson looks more as though it will be a pace effort. Whiteman is looking for precision. Darlow waits. Whiteman fires it. It takes a deflection. A roar of relief as it sails over the crossbar harmlessly behind for a corner.
Yeah, and they've got away with one there, big time, Leeds United, although it's not over from the corner. But it's so difficult for Whiteman to try and either get the power. He didn't go up and down. He tried to actually bend it round the wall just because of how close it is, and Leeds United defenders did their job.
Well, there's a group of blue shirts on the edge of the penalty area. They're going to launch in late, I think, to get on the end of this Ben Whiteman corner. Leeds lead 2-1. Nerves building at Ellen Road. Ball floated in towards the penalty spot. Now Bogle might race away. If he looks up, sees Solomon. Can he hit Solomon from distance? He might go in alone. He's still got Solomon with him. Bogle can't get the ball under control. It's played forward. Here's Aronson. Aronson, great tackle. Wonderful tackle on the edge of the box. Firpo goes lunging in. Ball breaks to Joe Peru. Peru on his left foot. Peru hits it. He's put it wide again. Another Leeds chance. Joe Peru just cannot find the target today. And a counter-attack that could have sealed it ends in nothing. Still 2-1.
It's all happening. Tadarsson was down. Whiteman's still down. He's on the floor. And at that moment where you're thinking, this is the one that he puts in the back of the net, look close from here. There's actually Leeds fans to our left actually up and celebrating, hands aloft, thinking that that's going in. But it's about 5 yards wide of the post, and he looks up. I think he takes a split second and he sees Aronson about 5 yards to the side of him and thinks, shall I pass it? And I think by the time he does that and sort of hesitates, the moment's gone.
Well, you'll hear the chant going around here, the Patrick Bamford chant. Now, Patrick Bamford has not scored a goal for Leeds in just under a year. But they want him on the field here. He played a little bit of an eye-catching cameo up at Middlesbrough in midweek when he did hit the back of the net but was wrongly ruled out for offside. But you just wonder if it is one of those days for Joel Peru. Well, look at that. That cheer will tell you Patrick Bamford has just been recalled to the dugout by Daniel Farke. And I think Daniel Farke might have seen enough from his top scorer today.
Yeah, and look, it's one of those from Peru. You have them days as a player where everything you do, you're trying to do the right things, but it just doesn't go in the back of the net. And I don't think, look, this isn't going to be fatal for the rest of his season, but it's the right decision. When you're having a bit of a stinker like he is in front of goal, bring him off, save him from himself a little bit. And, you know, it's an opportunity, isn't it, for Patrick Bamford?
And what we have to say, it's not through lack of trying. He's not hiding, is he?
No, and that's the thing. Like you say, it's not a lack of trying. It's not hidden. But sometimes you just go through those spells or those games as a player. So, yeah, not through lack of trying. And that's the thing. If it's when you're a striker and that happens, and you see someone hide, then you know that's not great for the mentality. He's still trying to work it. It's just not happening for him.
A double change. Isaac Schmidt is also ready to come on for Leeds. So it's going to be a double change. Ben Whiteman's just been getting treatment. You've not missed anything here. We have got 14 remaining. 2-1, but Leeds have hit the crossbar. They've cleared one off the line themselves that should have gone in the back of the net. And Peru has missed 3 or 4 very presentable opportunities. Nonto also fired wide when he should have hit the target and scored. It's Leeds 2, Preston 1. You're live on Talksport 2. And Leeds continue to attack. They continue to push for a third goal. It's still 1-0. Sheffield United lead Plymouth. So it's as you were at the top, as Nonto's pass is blocked by Hughes. They get the ball back. The sub's about to come on here. Bamford being given his instructions. As the ball works its way out on this near side. Patrick Bamford, 12 substitute appearances this term, yet to score. As the ball goes out on the far side, Bogle is sprinting forward, foot race. They got to it first, Whiteman, but he didn't clear it. Bogle whips it in, and it's straight into the arms of Cornell. And another chance goes begging. Yeah, just to clarify that Bamford stat, his last goal was against Middlesbrough, 22nd of April, so pretty much all on a year ago, 51 weeks ago. Be a good time for him to come on, wouldn't it, and bag one here and just ease the nerves.
Yeah, and you look at Leeds as well, there's no shortage of opportunities that have been created so far in the 78 minutes we've had, so he'll be hoping that continues.
All brought forward by Preston, looking to play forward. They're committing a few more blue shirts forward. Kessler-Hayden is in a more advanced position now. Ball played forward. Here is Kessler-Hayden, gives it away. Solomon tried to nick it away, got a foot on it. Not quite being as involved, man, as Solomon, but still has created a couple of really good opportunities second half. He's more than earned his money today, that is for sure. As Preston attack wide on the far side, they would love nothing more than to bloody the nose of their Yorkshire rivals and pick up a point here that might derail their promotion ambitions. Here's Whiteman, feeds it forward. You just wonder how brave Leeds are going to be here, because they're starting to get pushed back, although Nonto wins a good challenge, and that now will surely be the time for Patrick Bamford and Isaac Schmidt to enter the fray for Leeds. Although, yeah, here come the changes then. Will Keane about to come on as well for the visitors, but we'll start off with Leeds, who is going to come off. The fourth official, who's known who's coming on for the last 5 minutes, is now feverishly trying to work out the numbers. Come on, this has been the longest delay of the game. He's known they've been stood next to him for the last 5 minutes. It is going to be Willie Nonto who makes way. So Willie Nonto is off. Isaac Schmidt comes on. And also going off Aronson. And it will be Patrick Bamford, who comes on for him. So Peru will stay on the field, but maybe just drop a little bit deeper now into that number 10 position while Bamford will lead the line. Right, there's been a goal at Home Park. Is it a big one? John Roder.
A huge one. Plymouth Argyle 1, Sheffield United 1. Corner on the right. Sheffield United failed to clear. Plymouth knocked it back into the 6-yard area, and from close range, Ryan Hardy was able to turn it in. His 11th goal of the season, and we're all square at Home Park. Plymouth Argyle 1, Sheffield United 1.
Wow, another twist. 1-1 there, and the fans around us here, Ellen Road, are just, I think, starting to hear that news filtering through. If Leeds can hang on here, it could be a pivotal day. There it is. That's it. They've heard here that it's 1-1 down at Home Park. Now Leeds have got to take care of their own business. And I always think at this stage of the season, that's all you can do, Courtney. It's all right, you're relying on results elsewhere. You've got to win and worry about everyone else after you've won.
Yeah, of course, and you've got to control the controllables. And yet, of course, human nature, and players, and not necessarily players, more so the managers, will sit there in the pre and post-match interviews and go, oh no, we're not looking at everyone else. They'll see the results. It's not something that you focus on, but they will know what's going on, and obviously the fans definitely know what's going on. You can hear that loud and clear.
Yeah, well, we've got 9 minutes plus added on. There will be a bit of added on time. Leeds have got work to do. Are they going to regret those missed opportunities? They managed to hang on at Borough in midweek. As Peru working on the edge of his own centre circle, Schmidt earns a foul. Well done, Isaac Schmidt, who's found game time hard to come by here at Leeds, but when he has come on the field, he always looks a bit of a threat. Will Keane also came on for Preston. As here goes Bogle. He's like the roadrunner, is he, up and down that touchline. He gets the ball away. Now there could be a chance here. Schmidt works his way, can't quite find Bogle. He'll get him at the second attempt. Bogle has it, level with the edge of the penalty area. Can't work it back to Schmidt. Now he's got it. Now he's chopped down. That'll be a free kick. I'll tell you what, his stats must be frightening, Jayden Bogle.
Yeah, the way that he gets up and down that right-hand side. But it's not just the work rate as well. Then when he gets in those advanced positions, the quality that he shows on the ball is impeccable. We've already seen it today. But yeah, I would like to have a peek at his GPS data.
Here's a chance then. Everybody back for Preston. Can Leeds wrap up the spoils? Elsewhere, Plymouth 1, Sheffield United 1. Are the Blades about to drop points again? Doncaster have equalised against AFC Wimbledon. Bradford have gone in front. Brad Halliday, Swindon 3, Bradford 4, and Nick O'Reilly's got a 5th. Manchester City 5, Palace 2. Ball whipped in by Leeds to the far post. Peru couldn't keep it in. Actually, Ampadu actually has done well. Well, he has done well to keep it in, but he's given it away. But Firpo wins it back. Was Firpo fouled? No, play on. Bogle's got to be alert. He is alert. Rodon is there. It's helter-skelter stuff. I think Leeds have got to remember here they are 2-1 up because they did overcommit there. Here now is Joe Peru. Bamford's got to hold his run. Just went offside, so they have to hang on. Aggie Beaver-Jones has got a late winner. 94th minute, Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1. Heartbreak for Liverpool women in the FA Cup semi-final. What an early afternoon of football it's had, and it's only just getting underway here. 2-1 Leeds lead. They've had a host of chances to make it 3. Ball over the top, Schmidt was giving chase. Joe Peru will win it just over the halfway line. Ball fed forward, will fall to Schmidt. Schmidt, if he turns, has got Peru with him. He'll get it away to the fullback Firpo, heads into the area, finds Bamford. Well, Firpo was taken down there. He wanted a penalty. Referee, well, Bamford played it for Firpo, but not realising he'd already been taken off the ball, but the referee's happy to play on.
Yeah, he did, and both Firpo and Bamford were looking at the referee asking for the penalty, but straight away waves it away. He was not interested one bit.
He wasn't, and now Preston are advancing forward. They've got it in a good position here. They'll feed it in. It's hammered away from Emil Rees. And the ball not controlled there by Kessler Hayden, and Leeds have it back. They're being roared forward, but they're only being roared forward because that means the ball's further away from their net and Preston can't score. 6 minutes left. Here the ball forward is Bamford onside. Well, Gruyev was taken out here, but the referee's going to pull it back. But surely the foul came before Bamford was offside.
Well, I've praised the referee for most of the day today because he has been good on balance with the decisions that he's made. I don't think he's given the free kick, which I think is absolutely ludicrous. See exactly what happens. Ball goes forward. It's just a body check by Ryan Porteous on Gruev. He's got absolutely no intention of trying to win the ball. That's a poor decision.
Got a free kick here. We're about to get another change. Referee will play on here. Let's snip down to Home Park if we can. Last we heard, Plymouth 1, Sheffield United 1. John Roder.
Still that way, 1-1. It's end-to-end stuff now. It was a soporific first half, but it's a thrilling finale. Sheffield United have just hit the outside of the net through Tyrese Campbell. Both sides going for it. 4 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Argyle 1, Sheffield United 1.
Here come Preston on the attack here at Ellen Road. You can feel the tension building. We've got 5 minutes plus added on time. There's a double change about to be made by Paul Heckingbottom here. Ball over on the far side for Preston. Everybody back for Leeds. Ball over the top. Osmajic makes a run into the area. Left-hand side. Neat little turn. Can he get into the penalty area? No, Rodon's all over him. But Rodon's clearance is straight to a blue shirt. Whiteman 30 yards out. Has it. No one to roll it off to for the shot. So a go back here. Ball played forward. Crunching tackle. Bogle, who got the ball and a bit of the man as well. Referee says play on. Cross is blocked by Peru, who will chase it down. And it's roared to the rafters as the ball goes back to the goalkeeper, Cornell. Bamford's after him. Leeds trying to squeeze high up the field, but Preston play their way out of trouble. Back to Cornell, and Preston now toying with Leeds on the edge of their own area, but it's Preston that need the equaliser. Leeds in front by 2-1. Paul Heckingbottom applauds a play of his side. It's a great move here, and a nasty foul there, Ampadu. Ampadu might get a booking for that. He clattered into the back of Emil Rees, and he will be the second Leeds player in the book, Ethan Ampadu.
Need to be careful here, Leeds United, because they're trying to get the ball forward. You see in that press as well, they're leaving a big gap in between the forward line, the defence and the midfield, and there's no need for them to get caught. It almost feels like they're the ones now chasing to try and get the equaliser rather than the team that are ahead.
Yeah, Theo Carroll comes on. His Football League debut. We've had a goal at Home Park. Which way has it gone? Plymouth, Sheffield United, John Roder.
Listen to the noise. Plymouth Argyle 2, Sheffield United 1. Plymouth Argyle breaking away down the left. Sheffield United couldn't clear it away. And Mohamed Tijani with a volley from about 10 yards out. And Plymouth Argyle, bottom of the table, have turned this one around against promotion-chasing Sheffield United. It's Argyle 2, Sheffield United 1.
Wow, John Roder with the latest goal as it went in. Plymouth 2, Sheffield United 1. Can Leeds hang on here? This could be a pivotal day in the championship race. Leeds, as it stands, are going top. Listen to the noise. No, it's not Leeds who scored, it's Plymouth. Because that means that Sheffield United are about to be beaten again. And the ball from Preston is behind. It's a goal kick for Leeds.
Listen to that. A goal kick celebrated like a goal. But they can hear it, they can feel it. Obviously that news of the goal at Plymouth just come through, and 35,000 fans in this stadium are absolutely ecstatic.
Leeds could be about to take a huge step back to the Premier League. As it stands, they'd be 5 points clear of the Blades, knowing that the Blades have to meet Burnley on Easter Monday. They've got to hang on though here. A point now would definitely be 2 drop for them as Bamford battles to win the header. Schmidt is bundled over. That should be a foul. It's not. It's a free kick. It's a throw-in taken quickly by Preston. The game just starting to go Preston's way a little bit here. Pass charge down. Bamford trying to get on the end of it. It's lumped forward by Preston. We're into the 90th minute. Live on Talksport 2. As Leeds with Bamford attack. Keeper will come out. Oh, he's made a mess of it. The keeper, Cornell, almost overran it. He all had to wait for it to come into the penalty area. He tried to trap it, missed it, and it's cleared outside. And here goes Kessler Hayden now. Firpo blocks it out. It's 2-1. We're in almost to the 90th minute. Is there going to be another dramatic twist?
Well, Preston are the ones in the ascendancy. Yes, it's the Leeds fans making all the noise, but if there is to be another goal, it looks like it's going to come from Preston. And I wouldn't say Leeds are hanging on, by any stretch of the imagination, but they're definitely the ones that are soaking up the pressure right now.
Well, they did this at Middlesbrough in midweek. They almost sat back and said to Middlesbrough, look, we feel we can keep you out. But Preston here have been a little bit more gung-ho. Pass intercepted Tanaka, wanted to go long, does go long. Solomon is sprinting to try and keep it in. The pace of the pass will beat him. Just out of play, and we are now inside the final 90. You're live on Talksport 2, you're home of the EFL, the place you need to be for all the drama, all the ups and downs in the Football League. The only place you'll hear it on national radio is on Talksport and Talksport 2. Firpo clears it away. They're in the 7 added on minutes down at Home Park. We'll let you know as soon as there's any action there, as Bamford throws himself to the floor. Referee's having none of it. Bamford needs to get up and get on with it. Preston have it on halfway. How long here? The Leeds dugout are not happy with how long's coming. It's 6 added on minutes. You could tell as soon as they were told it was 6, they were all lambasting the 4th official. We're in the 6 added on minutes now. A groan goes round Ellen Road. They lead by 2-1. Damage in the first half from Solomon and Bogle. Cross from Preston into the box. Ampadu calls and heads it away. It's back here. Nobody's pushing out for Leeds. They're almost inviting them in. Preston won't need too many invitations. Edge of the area. A bit of a wrestling match here. Ball blocked by Gruyev. Bamford wins it back. Bamford races forward, and it's played forward by Preston and out for a throw-in. And that's greeted like a goal in itself. 6 added on minutes. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. Who'd be a manager and who'd be a fan of a team in the promotion race in the Championship?
I absolutely have no idea the twists and turns, because now we know it's not just about what your team are doing on the pitch. You're trying to maybe get on your phone or listen on the radio to what's happening in the other games. There's so many twists and turns, but these Leeds fans, I've got to say, have been absolutely magnificent today. They've been behind their team every step of the way.
Well, they have had chances galore here, Leeds. Absolute chances galore in the second half. Joe Peru hit the crossbar. Willie Nonto side-footed wide with a goal at his mercy. They've had chance after chance after chance, but it remains 2-1. It's 2-1 crucially down at Home Park. Plymouth 2, Sheffield United 1. Leeds have had 20 efforts on goal. 20 efforts at goal. It's ridiculous. Ball played forward for Bamford, trying to win a throw-in, and he does. I think Bamford's message or his job now, just be a nuisance. Yeah. Just break up whatever you can break up right now.
Yeah, he's getting himself in the right positions. He's, like you say, he's being frustrating, he's being a nuisance, and that's all you can do. And especially you see, and every time that Leeds get a little bit further up the pitch, or they clear the ball, or the winner a throw-in, you can hear the noise. It's being celebrated every single time.
It is. We've had 2 of the 6. They've got a throw-in midway inside the Preston half. Can they get a third goal? More importantly, can they stop Preston getting a second? Here's Firpo. Maisie running to the box. He's brought down edge of the area. Peru will win the challenge. He's going to have to make them defend this. He doesn't want to do anything silly, and he doesn't. And on a day where he's been frustrated, Joe Peru, that was good, because he didn't give away a needless free kick, and it keeps the pressure on Preston.
Yeah, and he's kept going. He's been magnificent in terms of his all-around work rate and play, in his attitude to want to do the right things. Yes, in terms of how clinically, or the lack of obviously being clinical with his goal scoring, hasn't been great, but everything else around it has been brilliant.
Plymouth 2, Sheffield United 1 is the latest score. As it stands, that means that Sheffield United going for a third successive Championship defeat, as Bamford gives the ball away, and it's played forward. Tanaka will sweep it up, heads it into the path of Joe Peru, 25 yards out, back to goal, feeds it to Solomon. Solomon has it on the near side, looking with 3 blue shirts around him to keep possession. Ball played forward. Lindsay will win the header. Firpo to Bamford. Here's Solomon again. Solomon's touch is a heavy one, and it's out for a throw-in. And we've had 3 now of the minimum 6. Sam Byram getting ready to come on. Tanaka wins a challenge. It falls to Firpo, who goes off on a mazy crossfield run. He finds Bogle. Bogle looks up. He feeds it to Schmidt. Schmidt attacking, only Bamford with him. Schmidt wide on the right. Firpo joins in. Leeds have got to be careful here, because Firpo is way out of position if Leeds turn the ball over here. They've got to hold on to it. Firpo does well to find Bogle. Bogle He's got Bamford unmarked in the centre if he could find him, but he's got the ball on the corner quadrant and he's hoping to win something, and he does. He wins a corner. Brilliant play there from Jayden Bogle.
Yeah, and then orchestrating the crowd in that corner as well, but you knew full well that Bogle had no intention of putting that ball in, and actually when Schmidt was on the ball he was pointing to the corner. They're just playing for time now, Leeds.
They are, and they make a final change. Let's go back to John Roder down at Home Park. Plymouth in front, last we heard, John.
2 minutes of additional time remaining. Plymouth Argyle still leading by 2-1. Those late goals from Ryan Hardy and Mohamed Tijani. Listen to the Plymouth faithful. It's Plymouth 2, Sheffield United 1.
Cheers, John. We'll let you know as soon as anything happens there. Sam Byram replaces Manor Solomon, who had a goal and an assist in the opening 12 minutes that might well propel Leeds a huge step nearer to a Premier League return. Certainly, if Sheffield United do fall to defeat and Leeds hang on, this has been a great day for both Leeds and for Burnley. Short corner, out for a throw-in that should be taken quickly by Preston. We're into the final minute of the added-on 6. Ball played forward. Keane wins a header. Byron wins a challenge. He needs to win another one, though. Keane gets the ball back. And now there's a chance for Preston if they want to go forward. They've got Osmajic and Emil Rees in advanced position. Here is Osmajic. Osmajic driving forward. Gruyev had a bite of his ankles, tried to bring him down, didn't bring him down. Here now the ball coming forward. Porteous spreads it wide. Is there a smash and grab for Preston? Cross in and Darlow collects it at the near post. Another roar of relief around Ellen Road. 30 seconds remaining. Leeds have dominated pretty much for 90 minutes here, but it does feel they're wishing the last minute or so away here.
Yeah, of course, it's actually not a bad ball in, and if you've got someone of a Preston persuasion darting across that front post, it causes even more problems. But Darlow comes and collects, just takes his time, falls to the floor, and that should be just about it for Leeds. That'll be enough, I think.
Leeds, as it stands, at top of the pile, but more importantly, 5 points clear of third. As it stands, Schmidt wins a challenge. Referee looks at his watch. He's implored by 35,000 Leeds fans to blow his whistle. We play on. It's all the way through. Ampadu is going to smash it high into the sky. Referee still doesn't blow his whistle. Max Verber about to come on if needed. Tanaka will clear it away. And there it is. A massive day in the Championship promotion race. Leeds United are back on top, courtesy of a 2-1 win over Preston. Solomon and Bogle with 2 goals in the opening 12 minutes that give Daniel Farke's side all 3 points. But maybe more crucially, it might be what's happening 300 miles away down at Plymouth that could be the biggest outcome here. Sheffield United behind at Plymouth. Leeds have done their job today. A huge day for them as they look to return to the Premier League. They leap above Burnley on goal difference. A game they dominated from start to finish. In front inside 4 minutes, Manor Solomon with a wonderful shot from the edge of the box. Kessler Hayden got one back straight away for Preston before Jayden Bogle bundled in a Solomon cross. Leeds wasted chance after chance after chance in that second half, but crucially they didn't concede at the other end. 4 games remaining. Leeds United are top of the pile, and it feels like a couple of games away from a possible return to the Premier League. What a day it's been. What a start to the day it's been here. Great news for Leeds and their supporters. They're back on top. They've beaten Preston North End by 2-1.